This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 810 for the week of Monday, March 25th, 2024. My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex.
And on today's show, we have a very special guest. He is the translator for One Piece in Weekly Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. We have Stephen Paul with us. How's it going, Stephen?
Hey, guys. Enjoy me while you got me, because I'm going on vacation.
Woo!
No, I'm just kidding.
You're going for some maintenance work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just got to keep up the translating, whatever it is. We
Recompile.
Thank you. Yeah. We also have our contributor Jill is back with us. How's it going, Jill?
Going pretty good. Have to give the California weather update. It's fucking cold.
Yeah,
windy.
it is.
What
I just heard thunder.
What is that? 60?
53. Thank you. I'm dying.
Okay.
It snowed on Thursday here in Chicago.
53.
Oh, no,
It's
my
literally
succulents.
freezing.
My hydrangea, I think, is dead. Got it too early.
Your single hydrangea.
And you hear that voice. That's YouTube sensation RogersBase with us. How's it going, Roger?
It's going swimmingly, but I am also part of the LA club that is freezing over here right now and worried about those storm clouds rolling in. So, yeah, hopefully your power doesn't get knocked out during this iconic episode before the big One Piece break.
That's true. Roger, aren't you a Chicagoan?
I am also a Chicagoan. I was actually just in Chicago, and then my Chicago parents came in to visit here, and then I was in San Francisco for GDC, and now I'm back in LA, and it's cold. So what's up with that?
I don't know. You brought the cold weather with you.
I did,
guess.
unfortunately.
And Jill and Roger, I think you have a several years worth thing.
3
that we should
years
probably
long, I think. What was it originally for? It was for Big Mom?
Toki, I think, right?
No,
It was-
I believe this was Hiyori.
Or Hiyori,
No, it was
Toki.
if
Not
Toki
Hiyori,
would
sorry.
Be alive by the end
Toki,
of
what's
Wano.
her face?
Toki.
Yeah.
The bet was that Toki would be alive. Oh, yes. And Toki thankfully wasn't alive. So I'm very happy to still owe you that statue. That's fine.
Yeah. Jill, what was your choice? Now, I think you just are cashing in on this from
Finally,
Yeah,
3 years later.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a real
yeah.
difficult decision.
Yeah, you gotta go
but
through
I,
the-
To be
it's
fair-
Pirates, man.
Well, the one I want was kind of out of stock, but they actually just did a second wave, so I'm going to get the Playback Memories of Miss All Sunday.
Beautiful.
Because-
Good choice. Good
Good
choice.
choice. That is a good choice. We can't fault you for that. So Roger now has to. It's on the air.
Oh, that's
it has
totally
to happen.
fine. That's the last one was on the air too, and it was going to be. It was originally a Big Mom statue, right? It was like I know it was the
was.
Mom one, and
You're
then it was a
right.
Big Mom statue, and then it was. I want to say it was a Shirahoshi, and then I literally
It keeps
went to
getting
Japan
smaller.
and then looked for the Shirahoshi statue and was like, okay, didn't get it, and then came back. I think it was Big Mom again, and now it's officially Robin. But I'm happy for you to finally cash in. That's good.
I think I own every Shirahoshi portrait of pirates already.
I was gonna say.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
There you
Works
go.
out.
So Jill, I don't know if you want to talk about this on air, but you recently got you moved up in your job, as they say. Have your Shirahoshi figures found a new home though, or are they in the same home?
So all my Shirahoshi figures have pretty much always remained at home because I've got about 30 of them at this point. So they have like a princess tower
Reasonable.
in the corner.
Yeah.
But the one I have at work is like it takes about half my desk. It's the one by Jimei Palace. So it costs about $1,000 and it lights up.
Woo.
But it's the highlight of my day.
That's what we work for.
No, worth
We
it.
work for light up giant Shirahoshi statues.
Do
That's
it for
what we
her.
work for.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I do it for her.
That's
I
right.
look at her smiling face every time I turn to the left, and then I stop crying at work.
We need to get you a collage of the Simpsons reference for you.
I'd be
an
happy to
actual
put it up.
plaque. So there's a lot of big news, which is appropriate since Roger's here and Big
Absolutely.
News Morgan's is
Favorite
the
character
mascot.
still. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, he's still amazing. I think we could all still agree on that. So first of all, we mentioned this. I posted a quick announcement thing with Ed during the middle of the week, but there is a 3-week break in the manga. For those sticking around here, during that, in no particular order, we're going to have our volume 108 SBS recap with Steven. We are going to, what was the, I don't even know what we're doing for the second one. But the third one is our live show on April 14th at 3 p.m. in New York City at the City Winery. I've been letting everyone know, please show up. I'll be there. Maybe Ed. I don't know if you've made a determination as we sit here
I
today.
plan on being there, yeah. I haven't booked a flight
awesome.
yet, but I'll be there.
Alex, I think, is also in a similar.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That's the plan. We'll also have Mike Patton, friend of the show, will be there, and Brodsky will be there, and maybe more. We'll see. Maybe the whole crew will just somehow spontaneously arrive by teleportation. Like some sort of, summoning circle will bring them there.
Actually, just our holograms. We have Jedi Council.
No, I mean, I guess I'd rather be a Jedi than a Five Elder, so that's fair. There's a few other pieces of news, including Alex. I want to give this one to you. You're our resident Kohei Tanaka fanatic. What's happening with the music?
So the One Piece Music Symphony that has been sort of they've been doing a few shows every year. They are going on a bit of a tour this year, including a lot of a few U.S. locations.
I'll pull
one
that
second.
up too.
Yeah, hold on. Delaney, you can cut some of this bit out while I get the dates up.
Well, it's definitely Los Angeles, Dallas, and Washington, D.C.
Well, I wanted to get the dates up there, too, so people
That
knew,
too.
because tickets are on sale after all.
While you guys are looking at the dates, I'm just looking on the City Winery page because if I was in New York at that time, I would definitely come. You can actually eat during the podcast? Like they serve you. That's
That'd
awesome.
be pretty bad for
Mukbang.
for the audio.
No, I mean, we're not in like a tiny little room. I think we could also, one of the things they said was that we could get like a wine with a One Piece podcast label on it.
Hell, my
I
God.
don't think.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, that's
I don't think they understand our Turco.
I don't know. Sounds pretty sweet to me.
Absolutely.
All right, so I've got the...
My kids need wine. My listeners need wine.
Hawk special, man.
Well, speaking of listeners needing wine, this is going to be a tour that finishes off in Paris. The One Piece Music Symphony Tour will be in Seoul, Korea on June 1st, Los Angeles, California at the Shrine on July 6th, San Francisco, California at Davies Symphony Hall on July 8th, Dallas, Texas at Morton H. Meyerson Symphony Hall on July 10th, Washington, D.C., a.k.a. Tyson's Corner, Virginia, at the Capital One Hall July 13th, Melbourne, MCEC The Plenary, that's Australia, July 19th, Las Vegas, Nevada at the Virgin Theatre July 20th, Brisbane at Brisbane City Hall, Australia, July 21st, Sydney, Australia, ICC Darling Harbour Theatre, July 27th, Singapore Esplanade Concert Hall, August 3rd, Jakarta, Indonesia, Ciputra Artpreneur at August 10th and 11th, Kölner Philharmonie, I'm not sure where that is, but it looks like it's in Germany.
That's
yes.
Germany, yeah.
Germany,
It's in
yes.
Western Germany, yeah.
Yes, August 22nd, Berlin, Germany, at the Tempodrome, October 26th. And let's see, Leon, I'm not sure where that is.
Leon's a guy.
Or Leon.
Leon.
Oh, might be Leon, yeah.
Say, the Temperatrome, isn't that like Krang's thing?
That's the Technodrome. Okay,
Leon,
this is in...
Leon is Larry David's roommate, so that's
Leon...
One of my
Leon
favorite
is in
characters
France.
on Curb as well.
yeah, he is.
Leon Black, great character in Curb, but this will be at the in Lyon, France. Sorry, it's in France or France.
JB
as they
Smoove
say.
will be there
Yep.
in France at the One Piece. No,
I wish. Anyway, that's on October 28th at the Auditorium 3000. London at the Apollo Eventim, November 16th. Paris, France, Palais des Congrès, November 30th. And Lille, France, at Le Nouveau Siècle, forgive my pronunciation, December 1st. You can go to wildfairy.com, that's F-A-E-R-Y, for the full list and links to get tickets, which are all on sale right now, with the exception of a few dates in Europe. So get on there, come and see some great show because we went last year. It was dope as hell. Let's see, I believe the Paris and Los Angeles shows will have appearances by Tanaka himself and Hiroshi Kitadani. So that's fun for all of y'all. I'm sure he will be singing us. Yes.
Yeah, us and We Are and We Go, I think, are the Tanaka.
He did Over the Top.
Over the
last
Top,
year.
I was going to say. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
okay.
he did not do We Go, I believe. I think he
They.
did.
I saw. I watched. They had
Maybe
the
they'll
live.
do all of us.
That. Yeah. Well, is this just us or on Google Translate?
It's us. It's just us.
No, I know.
Oh,
I
okay.
know. I know.
Whatever it's called.
Google
Ass.
Translate just doesn't look.
Assu.
I see
Every time I
that
see it on YouTube, it's like
I was gonna say.
ass.
every time on
Assu.
YouTube. I'm like, come on, guys! Like, it's just us. It's the word us. Like, do we really need Asu all over the place?
Boku no Hero Academia all over
Yeah,
again.
that's what
Lost
it
in
is.
translation.
Yeah, that word. It's a word that can't be translated into English. It means something beyond that.
Ass.
Yeah, ass. Ass is, to be fair. What the hell was I going to say after all that? I did watch that video of, I don't know, Alex, if you saw the Kitadani and, what's her name? The one who did
Makiyotsuki.
Zero Sunrise.
Makiyotsuki, thank you.
Matsuyosuke, yeah. They did at I think that was at the One Piece card game tournament in LA.
It was, yeah.
And it wasn't like a huge, it was like in a convention hall. It wasn't in like an auditorium, but damn, they're
Was
great.
that the Long Beach convention?
Yeah,
Right?
I think it
No,
was.
that was at L.A.
Yeah, it was the LA
convention.
convention. So that's like where they usually do Anime Expo.
Right. It looked like it was in like the dealer's hall
Right,
of
right,
Anime
right.
Expo. Like not
Looked like
not a performance room.
Yeah, it was like a crowd of like 200.
Yeah.
Watching some of it is a little cringe, but
Yes.
it's kind of fun.
But
have
they're fantastic. Kitadani
they're
and
great.
it's not their fault. You don't feel like quite like the audience was there for that, which is awful because they're amazing. Not that it's on any of the audience. It's you just
No.
probably didn't
The audience
expect
was-
Kitadani.
well, the audience is into it. The problem is you can't hear it because
Oh yeah. Yeah.
they're both mic'd up.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
I saw a video that somebody had posted with their cell phone, and everybody's sort of like singing along as best they can, and it's
I stand corrected then.
yeah, a little cringe, but
Yeah.
hey, they're having
that-
fun.
Yeah, audio editor is important. And Roger, I saw you posted this too. We should talk about the cool Puma shoes. I don't know if we talked
Yes.
about them yet, but I'm guessing you got.
I have
a
not
pair.
seen these.
I got
They
two,
were very
actually.
good looking.
Yeah, I got
and the
Gear
ads
5
for them
one.
were. There was a good ad for with Gear 5 Luffy, I think, with the.
Yep, with the moon and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I got the Gear 5 Luffy one, and then I got the Blackbeard one. And the Luffy one is really, really nice. It's got like the silhouette of Nika on the front, and then on the back of the lip of the shoe, you have like the Gomu Gomu no Mi. On the insoles of all of them, they have like the character art. And then on the sides of the Gear 5 one, you've got the the Gear 5 smoke trail thing that's like around Luffy's neck. It looks really good. And then the Blackbeard ones, I think are actually my favorite. They're like black and gold with a second pair of like red shoelaces that come with them, like a scarlet red. And then it's got like Blackbeard's Jolly Roger in gold on it. And then on the front and on the back. And then the lip of the shoe also has like the Ami Ami no Mi.
Oh wow!
It's
Yeah, I'm
got
looking
like,
at them now.
yeah, the darkness puffs on his pants and everything. And then the thing I really like too is that the hang tag on all of them is like a berry, but the berry is a custom Puma logo version of the One Piece berry. It's really nice. And the
Those
thing
are too stylish for Blackbeard. I feel like Blackbeard should be wearing something way more disheveled.
I
looking.
kind of thought the same thing because the inside of those are like suede. They're really nice. The
Yeah, it
Blackbeard
looks
ones.
nice.
But the Luffy ones, the inside is fuzzy. It's like a cloud almost. It's like a fuzzy white cloud. It's perfect.
Makes sense, I guess. Yeah, it fits.
Yeah,
I
super cute.
love when there is merchandise that is like, we're not getting paid for this, by the way, where it looks like it's subtle, like you don't know it unless you know it.
Exactly.
When you see it.
Exactly.
The
The buggy
looks
ones
like
are
it fits
well. The
it.
Shanks ones are cool too, but the buggy ones in particular, I also thought look really nice. But they look exactly like a pair that I got a couple years ago when Puma did their crossover with Mario, and it's like exactly the same color scheme as the Mario 64 pair. So I'm like, I can't justify this.
These look a lot nicer than, I forget the last sneaker. What do you call it? Crossover with One Piece. But
They
there
did a
was one.
Stampede one and a Film Gold one back in 2019, and then there was like a specialty OLED one that they did with like the Straw Hat logo on the front that I think was a couple months after that. The Stampede
It was one that was like drawn. Like it looked. I think it was just like
I
very
think that's the
busy.
LED one that I was thinking of.
Okay.
I recall a Skechers.
Oh, that's maybe what I'm saying.
The
Oh,
Skechers
yes,
ones.
yes,
I have the
yes.
Doflamingo.
Yeah.
They look
Yeah,
incredible.
these are much nicer. I think.
Yeah.
Personally, sorry, Jill.
It's okay.
Also, Doflamingo. That's a whole other topic. The last thing, speaking of all the films, is that Film Red is, I believe, on Netflix now, if not soon. And yeah, very excited about rewatching that again. It says by the end of 2024. I don't know if that means it's on now or not. I haven't checked, but feel free to watch and enjoy Otto's music. With that out of the way, again, we hope to see you on April 14th. We'll mention it a bunch. But we have the last chapter for a month. Roger we've been scheduling him for like half a year to come on, and
Yeah,
Oda always
exactly.
takes a break. And then Oda knew it was going to happen, but
Yeah.
he mistimed it by a week. So Roger made it in this time under the
Happy
wire.
I was able to do it. Yeah, I also always seem to come in for pretty good chapters too, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
the record's pretty
yeah.
good.
It is. I think you were on the one. I know the one with Robin and the O'Hara,
Most
like that
definitely.
whole chapter.
Yep.
I can't rember the last one. I think you were here between that.
I think there was one in
I just
between. Yeah, I think the Saul
Anyway.
one was the last big good one though. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very good chapter at that time. Things have kind of gone nuts since then.
Yeah.
To be fair. So we're going to talk about chapter 1111 and do some piece together and round off. So let's get started. This is the manga recap for chapter 1111, Sun Shield. You can read this chapter and all chapters as soon as they come out at shonenjump.viz.com or mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. Before we get into the chapter, though, Ed, we should definitely read this week's author comment from Oda.
All right, well, first I'm going to read last week's author comment because I love it. Oda says here, I'm having trouble getting the cat meme music video out of my head. The one with the cat getting in trouble is too cute. So that's just a classic Oda comment right there. But this week, he had something more serious on his mind. Talking about Akira Toriyama, he says, right now he's got a halo on his head, and he's saying, sure is tough to be a mangaka, while building models without a care in the world. I salute you.
I wonder if this is also how Oda sees like him doing his hobbies in heaven one day in the very, very distant future. Extremely distant for all the worried fans out there who are constantly worried about Oda's health. He's taking care of himself now. Toriyama, I know.
For the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
For
right.
the next 3 weeks, he's really taking care of himself. He's maintaining himself. We didn't actually read through that comment, but I don't think there was very much to say, Stephen, right? Except for the fact that he's maintaining himself.
He said he felt bad that it was coming so close to what happened with Toriyama, that he was causing undue worry, but that was not the intention. So I don't know. I mean, some people have speculated that it's partially like for him to recover from Toriyama, but I don't know that for a fact. I think that's just that's circumstantial.
According to him, he has time to figure out what the One Piece is at long last.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
a little planning time, which hey, like it feels like we are converging on some kind of a climax for what's happening in Egghead. So,
Did we joke about this on Discord? He's basically trying to figure out what the name of the ancient country is.
yeah,
He has 10 more minutes left until that happens, so we'll see.
Oh no.
In a month. Anyway, Ed, do you want to go through the cover of Shonen Jump? I definitely want to talk about that.
Sure, we got the monster trio, Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy in slightly more modern, real world clothes. Sanji's dressed like Trace Cushionado over here, and Luffy has a lovely cravat.
And Zoro has the poutiest lips you've ever seen.
Yeah, he's serving. Or so I'm
He
told.
is. They're all
Luffy's
serving.
definitely Johnny Depping it up here with the flair.
I think I've said this before. My favorite One Piece things are them dressed up as pirates, like the color spreads. Like those are usually my favorite. This one.
Let's not think about the 15th anniversary anime outfits.
Okay, that was
Or
not.
that
What, you didn't like the
yeah.
bonus outfits in the game?
Who's been listening to us for so long with like,
How many
finally,
bluebirds
it's been
had to
years
die?
since they complained? I thought we were past it.
Did you say how many bluebirds or bloopers?
Blue birds, so many blue feathers.
Oh, yes. You don't need to kill birds to get their feathers.
Yeah, you just pluck them right off.
Yeah,
That's
just
actually
pluck
a
'em.
good point. You don't
Yeah,
have
Got a
to
bunch
catch
of
bird
naked
and pluck
birds
its
running
feathers,
around.
Clearly easy.
Nah, my way's faster.
You know, Luffy with the sword was scary in Wano, but I trust him with the gun even less.
especially
Probably
when your
just be
tongue is
punching with the
sticking out.
gun.
Hey, look
Yeah.
at me! I have a gun.
Jill, it's okay.
yeah.
They can't hurt him.
You're right. He won't poke his own eye out. It's all good.
No.
Again. Well, we'll talk about that later. Anything else on this? I liked
The
it a lot.
tangents make it look like Sanji has 2 cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What those are called?
It's
and that's
it's
all I
a
have to say
fairly
about that.
clean cover by Jump standards, which is kind of nice. That it's just like most, 80% of it is the illustration. There's only 20% other shit thrown on top of it.
Yeah.
It's nice for a change.
The logo looks cool too. One
You know,
Yeah, with
if,
the bullet holes in it. It's cool.
it's pretty dope. I like Luffy's hat a lot. If we're going by the rule that in order to get birds' feathers, you have to kill them, he definitely killed the enchanted tiki room birds to get those feathers.
God, so much bird murdering already. We're just getting started.
Luffy would
here.
definitely probably kill some birds for some Dole Whip, though. I do feel like that's on character for Luffy.
He'd probably just eat the birds.
Eat the birds, yeah.
With the
Or the
feathers
birds,
and everything.
too.
We'd lose the
Yeah,
feathers.
He'd dunk the birds in the Dole Whip. That's what he would do.
I'll say on a more serious note. So, Steven, I know they've also been posting not just the progress videos for the color spreads, but I think Shonen Jump has posted some of the ones for the covers also.
Really?
Yeah, and I actually, when I was at Show Asia in 2013, I got to see them putting together one of the One Piece covers, which I always forget because it was kind of a whatever cover from 2013. But it's they just get the source stuff from Oda. They lay it out how they want on the page, but I think they did a really good job on this one. I like the pirate. It looks like pirate map background, and I believe the font and everything you see in the logo, that is probably just Jump. I doubt Oda.
No,
did
he wouldn't
that.
have done that.
Yeah,
And
but
I
they
do
did a
wonder
good job.
when you speak about the source too, like when you get the color walks and you'll see the original art, that Oda submitted for this stuff, and it does make me wonder if, like, when we get the next color walk that will, and whichever one will end up having this illustration in it, I wonder if it will be the exact same layout or if we'll see more, because they may have overlapped them digitally. Because
Yes.
they do stuff like that where they take the different, like Oda will draw the characters separately, and then it's like, okay, you can arrange them however you need to on the cover, but they'll do some of that digitally. So I kind of wonder we might see a slightly different, look at these in the color walk.
Yeah. I mean, they're also at the front of volumes sometimes, the Shonen Jump
Sometimes, yeah.
covers. Okay. That's enough cover talk. Let's talk about the color spread. Ed, what's going on?
Sure, this is based on a reader request. The Straw Hats strolling through the deep sea using jellyfish umbrellas by M. Hugh. And they seem to be like going, I don't know, sort of trying to go up in the water. I don't know.
Oda was like, jellyfish, got it.
Yeah,
French fries.
jellyfish.
Yep.
Jellyfish, throw in the French fries.
Jinbei
why-
is somehow swimming.
Yeah, they're all they're
classic.
in the water, obviously, because not obviously because they're jellyfish, but they're not. The only one, Vegapunk's the only one in a submersible of any sort.
Yeah, and these fries are not soggy at all.
I just imagine maybe they're like,
Vega fries.
it said strolling through the deep sea, obviously, right? But like maybe they're at the Little Mermaid section of Tokyo Disney Sea that looks like the deep sea, and that they're on like the jumping jellyfish ride or something, eating the French fries you get from the concession stand.
So
Maybe that's what it's based on.
the progress video for this had them actually doing the reader request, like actually strolling through the deep sea with
Oh, there you go.
jellyfish.
This is
umbrellas. If
why.
you
So
look
this is
for-
why he had to put it on Frankie's shirt. It says "flying through the deep
Right,
Through the deep
flying
sea,
through
yeah.
the deep
Yeah.
sea, right?
Yeah.
Sorry for
Like
changing
the
the
like
request.
Mr.
Kuma.
Potato Head on Luffy's shirt,
Emo
Yeah,
Don.
it says
watching them kill his kind.
Yeah, emo don, which is probably short for emo danchi, which would be like gentleman potato or
Not-
potato.
I
Yeah.
love it. Gentleman Potato is my new mascot.
good.
I can only assume Kuma's jacket has my name on it.
I think it says dive.
Probably, yeah.
No, it says Steve.
Yeah,
Or maybe live, as in,
It's-
I guess everybody get out your number 23 DVDs, because people are definitely going to be normal about that if they think it says live.
But a lot of the
All I
characters
wanted to
have
say was-
clothes with words on them. Brooks says
Yeah.
abyss. Chopper has explorer, and Nami says deep sea.
Deep,
Abyss is
it
a
Deep
good
Sea or-
one.
I thought it was Deep Six, but I guess
Or
Deep
maybe
Sea makes
maybe
more
deep
sense.
six. Yeah,
I like
that makes
that.
sense.
I think it is
Usopp
Deep
is being
Six, yeah.
digested.
Or just
No,
Not
he's
how
about
you
to get
ride.
stung.
Poisoned.
hanging on the tail
Yeah.
of a jellyfish.
Zoro's getting stung
Stung.
for fun, and it's not affecting him.
Yeah, he's just. I think Zoro is enticed by the idea of being peed on.
But the question,
Josh?
Steve, the most important question: who is doing the peeing, Steve?
I don't know who's eaten the least asparagus in the last few days. I just want to comment, like, Kuma's like wearing his classic orange jacket and probably thinking like, yeah, orange was a bad pick. Yeah, they were right. The anime was right.
I want to
but
point
I-
out one more
this-
thing. Luffy's
Yes.
got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty buckets behind him on his jellyfish, and he's finishing
Oh
off
my
a sixth.
That's how I eat fries, to be honest. I definitely just shove them in my mouth.
I have
Like,
definitely eaten fries like that before. I will say. It's happened. It's not the usual way I do it. I also want to add the seahorse thing for Kuma. I think is a really fun touch. As one of, I believe, the few animals that the male is the one who carries their young.
Are you implying that Kuma was Mpreg?
Yes, yes, I am. But it's not his, biological daughter. Anyway, Jill. So we don't have to have that image in our
He's
head.
the Empreg who stepped up.
I should just let Steven respond. I'll write it down, but I really don't like it.
I like
You don't have to.
I like the lighting touches on this. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
reminiscent
good
of
palette.
it's reminiscent-ish of the really cool Fishman Island one where they're at like the disco bar thing. You know what I'm talking about? I forget what's called.
The orange and blues.
Yeah,
The DJ one, yeah.
that one. Well, no, not that one, but also that one. Anything
I'm
else?
just
here?
sad we didn't get the Shirahoshi that the progress pictures showed at the beginning.
Yeah.
What could have been? Next time, Oda, do it for me.
By the way, if you don't look at the progress videos of Oda's sketches, they're usually on Instagram or Twitter. You definitely should. They're always worth a look, and they're not very long. Ed, you want to get into the chapter?
Sure, we're back up at the top of Labo Phase with Marcus Marsbird as he crashes into the barrier, and he is not obliterated like a fly on a bug zapper. He
we thought.
He breaks through, yeah, and he lands down near where Jinbei can see him. He's like, "Oh boy," he's quite stunned by this. He's got an evil look in his eye. But Jinbei starts, "What is that thing? Such preposterous hockey. Zoro, are you done? Let's go." Zoro responds, "Jinbei, not yet. He's still standing." And we see Lucci with 3 horizontal cuts and 1 vertical cut on his all over his torso. He was looking rough.
I don't know if that's what's the
Or is that
vertical?
just the
cut?
blood
I think
trail
that's
from
just the
his
blood
mouth?
just the
trail.
blood trail.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he's 4-sword style now? Okay, I guess.
Luffy's prediction came true.
Yeah.
And he lets out. He's still breathing. He lets out a mighty meow, and
I'd like to think it's a little cat.
yeah. But just as he does that, Sanji pops up on the comms. He says, "Did you get him yet, Jinbei?" "I'll do it now." "Let's go, Zoro. You won the fight." As he puts Zoro
Good
into a
panel.
headlock, He grabs him by the neck there, and he comes in with some fishman karate. Sorry about this, Rob Lucci. 5,000 brick chop, and he basically kicks up a giant dust cloud, and Lucci's in a blocking stance, and he transforms back into his human form, and Jinbei and Zoro have disappeared. We hear a flapping. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the way that Oda drew it, it looked like he just he was just Terminator, like just butt ass naked in his human form.
Oh wow!
There's a big plumber's crack there. He's drawn a big plumber's crack.
It's like he had to draw the butt crack there, and
every
single listener to the show is saying yes, he did. Roger,
dude, Lucci got yoked, man. He's all sorts of buff.
Oh, yes, but as I also said, we kind of did get that airplane thing starting. Jinbei also got to, throw something at Lucci. So let's get the rest of the crew to do that. Let's get everyone to beat him up. Go ahead, Roger.
All right, yeah. So fresh off his win at the Academy Awards for Best Animated Feature, we got the Heron from The Boy and the Heron flying on down, talking to Lucci, saying, Cypher Pull, Aegis Zero, Rob Lucci, where is York? And Lucci's looking, obviously stunned, seeing the giant bird Gorosei.
Not obviously. To be fair, Lucci is stunned by very few things, I feel like. He's so...
Yeah. I mean, he just tanked 3 slashes from Zoro, and yet here he is standing. And you got Zoro and Jinbei running on the way saying, gotta hurry, but what is that thing? As they're looking up in the sky. And Lucci, being the government dog he is, starts reporting, saying York is still tied up in the command room on the 4th floor of Building A. Currently on the loose are the 2 who just escaped, Roronoa Zoro and Jinbei, first son of the sea. 5 other members of the Straw Hat crew and 2 Vegapunks are. And meanwhile, he huffs in between all this too, kind of catching his breath because he's still winded from the fight with Zoro.
I'm just a little confused. So there's the black transponder snail there as well that he's holding up. Who's talking through that?
I am assuming that's going through the rest of the Gorosei. At least that was how I was taking it. Was that he was basically reporting this Gorosei was listening to him and that it was being spread to the other 4. I could be wrong, though.
Because it looks like the black transponder snail's talking.
The wiretapping. I would guess that's probably how he was hearing all the reports. That's how he knows all the stuff.
That explains
that. Makes sense.
The trail on the bubble is what confused me there specifically. But yeah, that makes sense.
It's Lucci's tit speaking.
The tit and the heron. There
Lucci's
well, Kinemon can fart, so clearly makes sense.
And so, Lucci, still exasperated, kind of continues to talk and report saying that 5 other members of the Straw Hat crew and 2 Vegapunks are preparing to escape from the back exit of the Labo phase. There are 85 other Cypher Pull agents and 4 Seraphim in the basement of the lab. So he says Vegapunk's message will resume in 6 minutes. And again,
Jesus Christ.
Wheezing through this, going through just all this information as again.
He's good at his job, I gotta say. He's
the best in the biz.
Yeah, apparently. Considering
I also
he keeps
think
getting his ass kicked.
Super funny little detail that I love here too is obviously, you hear the flapping on page 5. And you have Lucci obviously reporting all this to the giant bird Gorosei, but you could see in the right corner the little flap of Lucci's bird as the little flapping sound instead of the giant bird Gorosei, which I think is a cute little touch.
That is funny.
So it's Hatchery flapping, and actually it's not the giant bird Gorosei.
How does he know this is even one of the 5 elders? Like, I assume they don't just do, or maybe the voice, but
he's got to know. Either it's if you have a voice,
or the hockey,
like
maybe it's like the Force, who it feels like.
Maybe. I had assumed by this point he had known Saturn was obviously already there, so maybe he just assumed that in some worst case scenario the others would be summoned, and I'm assuming, like, being the top government dog, he probably has some idea of what they look like. Obviously, they made a big deal during the stuff at the Reverie with Sabo and with Cobra being like, nobody knows what they look like. But come on, somebody's got to know. If anybody knows, it's going to be Rob Lucci.
I don't know. He looked pretty freaked out when he saw
it. He might have
I'd
just.
be freaked out too if he's coming right in front of your face after you just lost a fight to the second in command of one of the Yonko. I'm assuming he's scared for his life.
Maybe
might
he
have
has no
just
idea who it
inferred it.
is, but he's just like, I'm gonna tell this bird everything.
Just
Yeah.
report
Scary shit.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? Sure. Why not?
There you go.
You know, a giant mythical bird is in front of me just after I got my ass handed to me. I'm just gonna say everything here.
Yeah.
Take
At
my
this
risk.
point, what's to lose, right? And so the bird Gorosei says, "Well done. No further questions." And right as he's about to fly off, Lucci says, "Wait. My partner is still gravely wounded in the command room." And we cut to a shot of Kaku laying there completely covered in bandages. And Lucci pleads for probably the first time. I think we rarely ever hear Lucci ask for anything or certainly show any compassion at all. He pleads and says, "Please spare his life, please." And without dropping a beat, the bird Gorosei looks down at him and says, "That may not be possible. One does not attempt to step on insects. It simply happens." As he flies off, and you see the bzz sound effect of the hockey emanating off of him as he flies in the other direction.
Marcus
that one.
Mars, by the way, has. I love that Marcus Mars just has a Brooklyn accent, like an old. What do you call that? What era of Jewish comedy from like
Catskills.
the 60s? Yeah, there it is.
Catskills.
Yeah, he's a Catskill
Catskills
comedian.
era. Yeah. That's,
Gorosei, live at the Catskills.
Yeah.
Actually, that is the target audience there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, right, exactly.
All right. Meanwhile, back to Luffy. He's excited. He goes, I can't believe it's been 2 years. It's good to see you giants again. And he's bouncing around and hanging with Dre and Brogy, who are happy to see him as well. And Dory says, "And you, Straw Hat, I almost didn't recognize you." And Brogy says, "Ga ba 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 ba. Do you know the form of that god spoken in Elbaf?" And Luffy is confused about this. And Brogy continues, "Your outfit, it pleases us greatly. Ga ba 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 ba." And Luffy, of course, ever oblivious, says, "I don't know what you mean, but we can talk later." Meanwhile, Topman, the feng shui, says,
I didn't even notice the portion of the worm is just sitting right next in front in the foreground.
Yeah.
I just noticed
chopped
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Go
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so Topman and Saturn are both shocked at this. Giants, a bad combination. Look at these colossal. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is Dre and Brogy. Look at these colossal beasts. They look like they came from Elbas forests. But we don't want to fight them, guys. We need to run away. We're already aware. We saw Sanji earlier. He said, if you see Luffy, tell him to run around the back of the island. And we see a little flashback of them waving Sanji goodbye, basically cutting through some stuff that it's just fast forwarding what we should have seen earlier of Sanji telling Dre and Brogy, "I'm counting on you guys. We'll meet up later." And just so we know where everybody is now, since
I like this map a lot. This is probably
Yeah,
one
me
of my
too.
favorite
Yeah,
of the
it's cool.
mini maps. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how it's 3-dimensional. Normally, it's that top-down view. But here we are because the crew has been split up for some time, and new players have entered the game board. We have a nice rendition of Egghead here, surrounded by naval ships, and on the southwest end of it is the Elbaf ship. We see that Nami and Usopp are in the that's the Labo phase or the Fabio phase, right? They're
Labo.
No, that's
Fabio.
Labo phase.
That's
Fabio
Labo
phase is the
phase.
lower part. Yeah.
Yes, they're in the Labo phase with the ship. Dory and Brogy are with Luffy. The next duo who are on their way are Sanji and Vegapunk towards the Elbaf ship, and Bonnie
Not
and Frankie. not dead yet, but he's got X's on his eyes. X's for eyes.
Oh,
which
he
is
does.
I didn't even notice that.
Which is the cartoon way of signifying
The
it.
tongue's
So
already
Maybe he
out.
is dead. Maybe
Yeah.
he is dead.
His
He might be
to be
dead.
fair, his tongue was been out this whole time. So yeah,
Yeah.
not a good sign
true.
there.
And Bonnie and Frankie are very near the Elbaf ship. If anybody had any questions as to how did they know that the Straw Hats were there, it's then revealed. We saw the story in the newspaper. It said you were surrounded by the Navy. And Dory sticks the horn of Rohan in his mouth and gives a little bit of a toot.
Someone brought this up on my live stream earlier today, and I was thinking about it. The newspapers in Elbaf, does Big News Morgan's like print a giant edition?
That's a very.
Like, are they actual giant newspapers? Or are they reading them with like?
They just take
with
they
the
take their
magnifying
little.
glass?
They take their little. Let's see what's in this.
Where do you find a tree
there's
big enough
fine
to make
print.
like the holder that they have at the library?
Well, they have.
right.
That's a good. But they
What's
have the
the,
giant trees probably on Elbaf. Remember the Adam Eve?
right.
Ones?
What's the
That's true,
so?
I guess.
So he gives them like the print stuff, and it's like microfiche for them. They have to put it in a
Yes.
Yeah.
magnification.
Yeah, there you
That's-
go. There you go.
I
That's
was
what
going
it
to
is.
say, that it's microfiche, or I mean, they're if Saul is there and they have a new library, then there's definitely microfiche. Or
It's called macrofiche for them. And
I was going to
yes,
suggest an overhead projector.
yes, that's a good idea too. And we're making microfiche jokes on the One Piece podcast here. Officially, our target audience are now boomers. Let's continue. One other thing. Sorry, this map looks identical to one I think they gave out for one of the movies in one of the books. I think it was gold. I have to find it. But even with the gold, and there was like a little game you could play. It was very similar looking to this. I really like this, but I'll move on because that's not very important. On the next page, you hear a woo, which is the sound of the horn for fellow Jews, the shofar. For Vikings, the horn. I don't know what the name for Vikings are. And you see the other giants whose names I'm sure exist, but I don't know. Noticing the sound. I love the one on the left. Very happy about it. And they say, that's the captains. They must have found the Straw Hat. They must have found Straw Hat. Back to the ship, prepare to withdraw. So they all get the signal. They know what's going on here. And the giants are like, this is easy. All we have to do is take them and leave. Don't bother attacking battleships. They don't have treasure. True pirate fashion here. Let's focus on the treasure. And you have a ha ha ha. And one of them, I don't know, and I can't do an Alex laugh as much as I will try. And the goons here, the marine goons, are just like, what is happening right now? And we cut back from the giants to the mythical beasts versus the giants, as you have this one. Which one is this? Is this Warcury? Warcury, right? Yes, the evil version of Mercury is here to say,
Warthog.
Warthogcury, yeah.
There you go.
So the person who he fights is Morthog? Is that how that would work? Anyway, thank you. I kind of got a chuckle. An escape signal. We can't have that. I'll sound a warning of my own then. And a warning not to escape. By the way, I don't know. Does that really... That's a really lame...
No, I
Luffy's
like that.
looking at him.
That's a really good delivery of that.
This gives me the feeling that they don't leave the house that often. So,
Yeah,
like, when they do, they
definitely.
just have all these puns they've been thinking of for like 20 years.
I guess two heads really are better than one.
Luffy is just... Luffy's just not impressed by this. But here comes a gigantic roar. Really cool panel. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I love this one.
Reverberating through the city, just tearing everything apart, and Dory and Brogy doing everything they can to stay still. Luffy still looking like he doesn't have a care in the world, because that's how he is. And this one's also very cool on the bottom. Just you see the kinetic motion of not just how it's hitting the three of them, but also how it is hitting the city. What happens next, Jill?
And then in just this incredible panel, the force hits Luffy who proceeds to lose his sandals, the cuffs on his shorts, both scars, his eyeballs, and his hat, and his little veil. Oh, and his little like scarf around his belt, and the wind thing.
Oh yeah,
so yeah, everything is flying back in a stream as Brogy just looks alarmed, I guess is putting it lightly.
To be fair, I think everyone reading was slightly alarmed by, not just his anatomical parts flying out, but also the ones that make no sense.
His eyes are just googly. Look at that.
The scar, his eye scar one, I did not see until I think someone in our Discord pointed out, and what a fun touch that is.
I love it. Yeah,
a ridiculous one.
And then
so creepy. Oh my god.
And then the force of the call just kind of radiates throughout the island into the ships waiting below, with the Marines going, "The island is pulsating again," as some of them faint in the background, because this was imbued with the hockey. And meanwhile, Luffy is trying to pull himself together, and the Giants are you all right, Straw Hat? Got enough parts there? What a funny body you've got. Gah, 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 gah. Which also, I want to point this out from the last page. Do they just think he's cosplaying Nika? Like, they're like, "Oh, that's a cool outfit you got. We like that."
Maybe.
I don't know, man.
I wonder if that is what they think. But I don't think they would have come here to do this though. If it was just like, "Oh, Luffy has a really nice getup. We should go help him."
Like they're the neighbors on Halloween or something. Like, "Oh, what are you, little
Jesus?
guy?"
Like, good job. So then we get a panel of Luffy pulling himself back together. He's putting his scars on. It kind of looks like they're like stickers that he's trying to put it back on.
Yeah.
I don't know if the one under his
Color
eye is
forms.
like accidentally on his
Color
torso,
form.
or if he still hasn't put
No, he's
it up.
holding it.
Yeah,
it looks
he's
like he's still
holding it.
holding it.
Yeah.
And it looks like
That would
I
be
thought that was a fishbone at first, because that's what it looks like. You know, the one. the cartoonish.
Sure.
No, that's his eye scar.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I wonder, like, obviously I don't think this is going to end up happening, but it would have been so funny if, like, as a play on when you get the stickers and the little one-piece ship model kits, how sometimes when you lay them out, there's accidentally the bubble underneath and it just kind of, like, sticks out. If when he puts his scar back on, he's just got, like, a weird bubble.
Or if he
I'll
puts
say-
it back on
correctly.
wrong. Like, someone's
Or
gonna be like,
puts
"Hey,
it on-
Luffy, is that on the wrong eye?"
Yeah, right.
Oops.
This is
I'll
actually
say-
Oda just preparing.
Yeah,
for
just get
future
around it.
mistakes.
If
Yeah.
he ever makes a mistake with the
That's
eye,
his
he could just
excuse.
go,
You
"Oh,
could
don't
say,
worry
"Oh, he
about
just
it."
took
Yeah.
it off, put it there."
Like,
I'll
stick it
say
there.
I'll say someone with a 2-year-old stickers very easily become unstuck. Does not take much. Yeah, Joe, go ahead.
So yeah, as Luffy's taking care of that, this guy, I can't remember his name. Oh no, this is Luffy saying it. A color of the Supreme King roar. Who is that guy? And then some bossy guy in the world government. You know, as you do.
Oh, so that was Dory and Brogy saying those two things, I
Yes,
think, and then
yes.
Luffy saying the third. Okay, there we go.
And then he just like launches himself at them as they shout, "Whoa!" And then the giants prepare themselves for this giant pig, and they block his suddenly sword tusks with a Svalin sun shield.
That's
Yeah.
that's the type of sunglasses that old people wear, right? Sun shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, Svalin is that is a Norse mythology thing. It is literally like a shield that blocks the sun or something like that.
Nice. So it's like
the world
chai
from the
tea,
sun's heat.
basically. Instead of saying chai tea, you could just say chai, because it's literally just tea. Instead of saying Svalin, you could say just sun shield. You don't need sun
Yeah.
shield, sun shield.
Yeah, well, so the interesting thing here is that so what Oda did is, and he does this a lot with stuff that's in like other like non-English or just non-Japanese in general languages, is like all they say is Svalin. So like when you see this animated in the anime, you're just going to hear them say Svalin, but the kanji is sun shield, and that was also the title of the chapter. And so I was like, okay, well, the title of the chapter isn't Svalin. It's literally just like sun shield. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just put them both in the name of the attack, so that you get the sound, the Norse name and the definition at the same time. And then I can reuse that, that term for the chapter title, because if I either just called it Svalin or just called it Sun Shield, and then there was no Sun Shield in this scene, then people would be like, "What? How does that? What's the connection between these things?"
Sure.
There's also, I just doing my terse research on Wikipedia. There's some, I'm not reading them now, but there's Norse poems and such about the mythology behind Svalin that may or may not be interesting. I haven't read it yet, but these things end up, I think, especially with Norse mythology and coming up with Elbaf, I think are going to increase in importance. Go ahead. Who was going? Jill? So Alex.
Yes. Topman, or Warkuri, I guess, is being held back by the giants. And he says, "We have much to settle with your kind. Do you even know who that is?" And they say, "Of course we do. He's a friend. Ga-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Gi-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga-ga." And they say, "Skilja split." And I just looked that up. I think it just means it's Icelandic to break away. Skilja.
Yeah, and that's what the kanji that he used also was like, to separate or to break into or something like that. So
It's Old Norse. Comes from Old Norse.
Yeah,
It's Old Norse.
in Old Norse, it literally means those two things. So there you go.
And it knocks back Warkuri, who, with Azadum, gets knocked into some buildings. And we see Saturn huff up some air. And he goes, "And he must be crushed before you call him something else. Eradicated from the historical record." And
It's a good Saturn. I like that.
thank you. And he unleashes a machine gun flurry of poison.
Well,
Giants.
that's what Luffy says.
Well, that's what Luffy says. He unleashes a flurry of question mark bullets. And Luffy, shouts out, "Watch out! That's gonna be poison!" And he takes a gigantic hand, rips a palm tree out of the ground, and starts going to town on it like a corn on the cob.
It's a human lathe.
Yeah, but hey, what's
Human lathe. That's
What could he-
superhero name?
possibly be making?
Steve, what could he be doing?
Well, we all know it's March Madness season, so he made a baseball bat. Checking my notes here.
Would you call it a?
Well, it's spring training season, so naturally he made a baseball bat.
There it is.
Would you call it a Wonder Bat?
it's those big fungos, right?
Is that like the hollow one that makes like the dome sound?
No, that's a
Or-
wiffle ball bat. Wonder Bat is the bat that Homer made
No,
out
no,
of
no.
a bigger bat.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that's right. Yeah. Sorry. See, it was destroyed so quickly, I forgot about the Wonder Bat's existence. No, he because Gear 5th powers are just insane cartoon powers. He somehow just materialized a paintbrush with a paint bucket and painted up and put his Luffy's number on there. And then he materializes also a baseball helmet because safety first. Don't want to get beamed in the head.
That would be bad.
And he just this is like one of those like giant like hollow bats that used to make the big dome sound.
Wiffle ball.
But not the wiffle ball bat.
Oh, you
Not
mean like the
classic yellow
inflatable
wiffle
ones?
ball.
No,
No, not
they
inflatable
were
ones.
they were like glow in the dark yellow, and they were
Yeah.
they're hollow on the
I
end.
know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Luminescent yellow or green. And,
Yeah.
Well, I was
when
going
you
to
hit
say,
balls.
if it's, I mean,
it made the One Piece sound dome.
It did.
I was going to say, like, a bat can just be wood colored. Like, the one thing you don't have to color, I feel like, is a baseball bat. But Luffy is
You could also
perfectionist
just
here.
Well,
use his hockey to turn it black.
That's
But,
true.
yeah,
I
I think
thought
he's
about
been
that.
hanging around. He's been hanging around Mihawk too much. Mihawk obviously has been painting his blade black all these years, and so
When does
I think
he hang
this
out
one-
with Mihawk?
opportunity. Just live action just happened. They've been on set. They
Oh.
were chilling in Cape Town. Mihawk said, "I'll show you the ropes," and then
To
Luffy
be
did
fair,
some
I
painting
laughed my
lessons.
ass off if in a year this purple's colored. This bat is colored like purple. In the anime. So,
Got my
Exactly.
old
I'm
purple
not
bat
surprised
here.
to hear that Mihawk dyes it. He's getting old.
Yeah.
Isn't he like 38? or something terrible.
Oh, practically
42?
dead.
Yeah.
I'm
know,
4
save
years
it for
from that,
trivia.
man. Don't remind me, all right?
43.
And Luffy
43, sorry.
winds back, and you want to see him hit a few dingers. He hits all these
Dingers.
I forget these big balls of poison. He just hits them all back, and the helmet, is flying off his head as he leans back and has a big laugh, and he says, "How do you like the taste of your own poison?" And the I can only assume the elders are shocked here. At least the pig is.
It's hard to tell,
Great.
to be fair.
with Saturn these days. I don't know. Saturn's got like the eyes of a macaw. I have no idea what he's thinking.
It's like an owl. They always have the same look.
And then da-doom! 3 giant mushroom clouds. And probably the funniest moment of the chapter. And Luffy's eyes popped out. It's like, what? That exploded! So that was kind of funny. That's like...
Someone
were
clearly
wrong.
skipped Usopp's fight in Alabasta, and it shows Luffy.
Yeah. And then we see Dory and Brogy here. Well, someone calls out to them, says like, "Captains, the flames are going to block off the forest." And Dory here says, "Let's get moving." And Brogy says, "You bloom to bits." Ga ba 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 ba. But Luffy gets serious here. He says, "Let's hurry. This won't matter." And then he turns back and says, it's like the meme with the guy pointing at like the desert
totally.
tornadoes. He's like, "They're immortal!" And we see them rising from the flames, shrouded in darkness there. Or maybe they're just very badly burnt.
I'm very badly burnt.
The worm is back here after being
Yeah.
cut
Right.
in
He's a pretzel
not just
roll.
twain, thrice. Yeah, cut thrice.
He's a
I
pretzel.
think he's like stumpier now.
That would be
Yeah, I
good.
wonder.
there's 2 of them.
I want that.
Or 3 of them, I think. He got cut 3. He got cut, twice. Therefore, making 3 worms. Anyway, Steven.
Yeah, so now we get a big shot of Dory and Brogy. They're still laughing it up. They're not particularly worried here. And Dory's going, "Keep running. How can they be immortal?" And Luffy says, "I don't know, but they keep coming back no matter what you do." And Brogy says, "I've never heard of any such power or race. Best to run then." Ga ba 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 ba. So they are scampering off now. And then Nami over by the ship, and I'm not sure. I'm guessing that everybody in the background is like, are they pushing the ship to like straighten it out or something?
Yeah, I was looking at that panel for a while because it is hard to determine.
Yeah.
Who's the one all the way on the left? So is like I don't even. You see Usopp there, and
Yeah,
they
the
also
tall
look way
one's
too
Brooke.
big in comparison
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
ship.
I think someone's
Island.
blowing a whistle to be like,
Yeah,
heave ho.
Yes, Usopp is directing the team to push, I guess.
Good job there, Usopp.
Yeah. And so Nami is exhorting Jinbei and Zoro to hurry up, and Jinbei is saying, "We're on our way." And then he says, and then we see him, and he's saying, "I think it's faster just to run," which I'm guessing is in comparison to using the Dom shoes, maybe.
That's what he's been doing. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
been flying. Zoro was on his back earlier in the chapter, like just looking back at the craziness going on. So
Yeah,
You can't let go of Zoro. If he does, he'll be lost. We'll be here for another
That's
30
true. You
chapters.
can-
Very
Not-
true.
yeah.
Very true.
I wonder if his lostness could is contagious, and Jinbei might just accidentally get lost just because Zoro's there. That would be bad. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, he's bazooming off. So apparently Jinbei has the land shark speed is very impressive.
On his way to deliver a candygram.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got the Zorogram on his back, and meanwhile, the group that we saw previously closest to the ship, Bonnie here, is pointing out, "Look in front of the ship." And yes, there is the ship right there. And then we get 3 of the vice admirals, which was Red King, and then
Guillotine.
Oh, man. Guillotine was the
middle one.
pincher,
Okay.
the pincer head guy. And then
Oh, and the
We
Otter
demand
Man.
to be taken
Right.
seriously.
Oshawott, Oshawott,
Was
right?
it-
That was the guy.
was
that
Pomsky the one with the
Pomsky, yeah.
he was
Otterman,
the one with
yeah.
the,
Otterman. Yeah. Pomsky Otterman.
handlebar.
It's a full name here. Come on, that's.
And Red King here says, "You're not getting on that boat, Jewelry Bonnie." So then cracking the knuckles, so they are ready to rumble there.
I was really hoping Sanji one-shotted these two dudes, but
Nope.
I guess not.
He's got a dead / or dying old man.
That would make it even
Yeah.
better.
I don't know. I just wish he would like stretch out Red King's like neck like a slinky or something.
man.
So-
Ooh.
That'd be good.
Bring it farther in.
Oh, he's gonna Wanze that guy. Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, he's running and huffing and puffing. And meanwhile, we see that the Itsumade bird, which is this Marcus Mars,
Yes, Marcus
that
Marford.
is the bird, yeah. And he has found York. And yes, this is the memeable panel of the chapter where he just
Apologize for that.
explodes through the wall and just says, "Where's the room on the monitor?" Which is it's kind
just
of an
such
odd,
a. Yeah, go ahead.
it's a very odd question to ask. I think what he's implying is where is the place that Vegapunk is talking on
Recording
the
from, for
recording.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sounds like such a mundane thing to bust through the wall saying, which is why I found this panel so funny. A
Yeah.
giant pterodactyl-looking mythical creature coming. Where can I use the restroom?
Yeah.
Or something very mundane
he's
like that. I
yeah,
think
he's
it's
kind of
funny.
doing like the Nick Cage and the Wicker Man thing, like, "Where's the room on the
Yes.
monitor? Where's the room on the monitor?" Just like screaming in your face.
Trying out his
They,
new chainsaw and
uh,
hockey mask.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, Steve.
That's my joke.
That
I'll
is
kill you.
Where's
And-
my chainsaw and hockey mask? Is a funny twist on that. Yeah, go ahead.
And
York, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
yes, he asked calmly, and York is, of course, the rational response just goes, "Ah, monster!" And of course, she has no idea that these are the elders, and she's just like, "It talked. Who are you? Go away." So
That is
yeah.
such. That is a. I feel that reaction. Good for York for having a real reaction to the
Yeah.
terrifying situation.
And then we are back on one of the Navy ships, which we do recognize from context here because some soldier is saying, "Kizaru, show us your wounds. Let us help you." So this is where Kizaru got knocked out onto the deck of the ship here. And then Kizaru has this kind of enigmatic, "Am I wounded? Yes, deeply wounded." Which tells us, yeah, he's hurt, but no, he's hurt on the inside here. He is feeling the toll of what is happening to his friend and everything else. The Marines are just trying to, like, they're thinking very practically, like, okay, well, we should act fast then. And he says, "Just let me rest." But at this moment, there is an urgent report coming over the comm from one of the other ships around the island. "Something far larger than even the giants has appeared on the island, reporting from the northwest coast of Egghead." And we see a giant one-horned silhouette creaking and cracking as it stands and looms over everything else amidst the fire on the island. And they're saying it's unaffected by the flames. The gargantuan creature is standing in the flames and groaning about something. And we get this kind of, it's kind of hard to say because they say it's groaning, so it's clearly making some kind of audible noise. But the
Scratching.
text,
It's annoyed about how hot it is there. Yeah.
but the text box here is the kind that is reserved for, like, mental or otherwise sort of unspoken words. But it is saying a very familiar refrain. It is saying, "Sorry, Joy Boy."
That was a good. That's a good.
much
robot.
Pray for Mojo.
Yeah, I mean, it is very much in a kind of robotic. We didn't. I guess the letterer did not use like a more robotic tone, but it's presented in katakana, so it's sort of like very robot like. But yeah,
Cool.
words we have heard before from other ancient figures.
Well, no. So Joy Boy apologized to Poseidon, right? That's in the poneglyph.
Well, there was also it was in the anime this week that 200 years ago was when the robot attacked Mary Joa, and that was the
Right.
year that Fishman Island joined the Reverie and went up to Mary Joa.
All right. And then then there was also, I forget what Zunisha said.
There's also Zunisha, yeah.
Yeah. He apologized to Joy Boy. That was...
So
He did a crime, right?
The implication is that there was a Joy Boy 200 years ago.
I have to check.
And he was too soon. Too soon for the mermaid princess and too soon for the robot who attacked Mary Joa.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so worried about Shirahoshi all the time, guys. Every chapter, man. Is
How
she
do you
okay?
get through? How do you get through? I don't even...
Edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Right now.
For how many
Yeah,
years?
you gotta
have
keep your
been-
eye on her, or the hooded enemies like pick her up and take her away.
He's right. So that'll do it. We'll, be back with another chapter on April 21st in the United States, I believe is the date.
Blaze it.
Blaze it. +1.
+1. Maybe as a special treat, it'll be early. I don't think so, though. Roger, your thoughts on the chapter?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this one. I feel like if you're going to have a chapter right before a 3-week break, this is a good one to end it with. I mean, I love all the stuff with the robot. I think, like, one big thing that I guess I didn't realize before, like when we first saw the robot sitting down and, like Luffy activated it and the eyes lit up initially, I didn't realize how big it was. Like, I didn't realize the actual scale of the robot. Like, I know we saw bits and pieces, but actually seeing it here, walking around, definitely, like, reminded me of the stuff with Zunisha and is making me think, especially now that we're going to Elbaf, like, it's just making me question a lot of things. Like, why is Elbaf happening now? There's obviously story reasons for Oda to have waited so long to bring us here. And so I find it interesting that everything that we've seen in relation to Joy Boy is massive, right? You've got the hat that was in the freezer in Marijoa with Emu that's massive. You've got, this robot here. You've got the you've got Zunisha. You've got even the stuff with the giants, obviously referring to the sun god and praying for the sun god Nika. And then obviously...
Even Poseidon
the Sea
is a
Kings.
giant mermaid.
Poseidon, exactly, right. So everything related to him is massive. And so it does sort of like lead me to assume that Nika was also massive, was also a giant potentially, like the original Nika, right? Obviously, you brought up the thing earlier of the idea that a giant's laughing at Luffy being like, why are you dressed like that? Are you cosplaying him or something? But I do wonder if it is almost something like that, right? That, again, Luffy is not literally Nika, right? Luffy has the Nika fruit. And we know that devil fruits have the souls within them and stuff now, but like, I do almost wonder if the original Nika was actually this massive figure and that everybody related to him was just as huge. And I'm dying to find out more information about that. And I do think like the closer we get to Elbaf and the more we're hearing about Elbaf and the idea of the sun god and them worshiping him, like I think we're going to get to that information sooner rather than later. Plus, we're going to find out the information from Vegapunk really soon, too. So I feel like we are on the cusp of a lot of really interesting lore. And also, like, I wasn't here last week, but I just got to say, like, 2 chapters prior when we were about to do the 10-minute thing again, I lost it on my live stream. I was, like, really upset. I was not happy with that. I'm like, we're really doing this again? And I think that was because I didn't necessarily believe that we would actually be getting all the Gorosei, that they were actually going to be showing up here in Egghead. I assumed maybe the summoning circle that Saturn was doing was going to be something else. So actually seeing them like fight in the previous chapter and now seeing them here again as well, like showing what a big threat they are, showing that they're presumably immortal. They've got all these amazing powers. You've got the Pumbaa looking one just like crying out this giant Conqueror's Haki scream that's blowing away stuff. Like even looking at that panel on page, I think it's page 12, right? Where we get the shot of Luffy getting all of his scars blown off like they're stickers. You get that amazing shot of all of the Haki resonating in the ships, waving on the sea and all the palm trees almost being sucked in as he's, making this giant roar. Luffy, as we've seen throughout the course of multiple other story arcs, he learns his power-ups a lot of the time through watching other characters do things, right? Whether it's Katakuri with the observation Haki or the stuff with Rio in Wano country with the advanced armament. And now I almost feel like I could see a situation in the future in which Luffy wants to scare a lot of people or really make a big impact and sort of utilizing this cry attack for himself. Maybe like, I don't know, crafting a giant megaphone or something with Gear 5 powers and like screaming into it and doing a similar thing. So I do feel like that if you can call it an attack, I would call it an attack. And that attack, I think, is potentially leading us to something that Luffy will do in the future too, like as a war cry or something like that. So yeah, overall, I just think awesome chapter, really good art this week. Great little funny moments with like the memeable stuff with the Heron Gorosei, and and props to Lucci for still standing. Kind of unbelievable there.
You know what they say: monkey see, monkey do.
There you go. That's right. There you go.
There it is. Steven, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think, and I totally agree with what Roger said at the start there about the size of the giant. And I think it is something that is kind of inevitable with the sort of freeform way that Oda tends to draw stuff. Like there are some manga artists who are extremely like sort of clinical with like their perspectives and their their size comparisons and things like that. And Oda is very much by feel. And so it is something that I think he does struggle with sometimes, is like depicting the relative sizes of things. So it is kind of cool to get a slightly better view of, it's not a very big panel, but a slightly better view of the scale of this giant robot. And I hope we get to see more of that when we come back. Because obviously it's a very cool element that we've been waiting to see kind of come into action. And it is a very exciting way to end the chapter. I think this was like it's a good follow-up to last week's chapter. Like it felt like it was very much of a cut from the same cloth, just a lot of intense action, some good interactions and impressive moments and stuff. I do have to say I was impressed by Lucci's I guess performance. It's not like it's a sports game or something like that, but
Rakugo.
He's Rakugo. He did he kind of did the nothing happened. He did a little bit of Zoro's stuff with the withstanding the blows and everything, and even though he did lose, he looked pretty good while doing it, and then to immediately follow that up by like showing off his professionalism and giving a very precise sit rep to Marcus Mars, and also ask for a favor for his longtime work partner in Kaku. It showed well for him, and not that I'm saying that I like Lucci or anything, but I think he came off looking much better at the end of this chapter than he did the previous couple. It is kind of funny, like everybody thought, there was a better than zero chance that being chapter 1111, the total Snake Eyes chapter, that Zoro was going to do something crazy and insane and amazing, and then it turned out like all he did was get noogied by Jinbei and dragged around the whole chapter.
I wonder if Oda like prepped for Zoro's big attack to be this chapter, and he just messed it up.
Yeah, it could be.
Got away from him.
I remember for 1,000, I think, like he didn't realize that was even coming up when it was. Like I don't really think he pays quite as much attention as we all think to those kind of milestones.
I think a lot of people tend to say like, no, Oda's gonna do something big because this happened once 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're due. I guess.
I mean, 1,000. I think the editor is like
Oda has that post-it note up his desk.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things, as he said, he has to figure out over the next 3 weeks. So maybe we'll have those in the future. But
just overall, I think a really satisfying chapter, and it was a big. It was 17 pages of manga, story manga. Without the cover page, and then the 2-page color spread. So he really gave us a lot to chew on before the break, which is nice. It felt like a very big, meaty chapter, and had a lot of fun stuff in it.
Agreed. Jill.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those chapters where you kind of have to stop and think and be like, my God, look where we've come. Like, at this point, we're escaping a Vegapug's possibly dead body, while the 5 elders have turned into demons and are chasing Luffy, who's hanging out with the 2 giants from Little Garden. Like, Well, Rob Lucci just kind of stands there.
Yeah, what's so weird about that, Jill?
It's just wow, we've really come far here in One Piece.
Even just this arc, we've come really far.
Yeah.
Past couple pages, honestly, it's like, or past couple chapters, I should say. I mean, honestly, like the Kuma stuff would have been enough for me, and yet everything since then, with all this stuff with the Gorosei and some of these fights, Luffy versus Kizaru, it's like we've gotten so much.
Yeah, I do like seeing Kizaru take constant L's. I think that's incredible. I just think he's a really funny character to beat up.
Same.
Especially because he hasn't figured out his morals yet, so it's great. But yeah, this was so much fun. Just loved every single panel of Luffy in Gear 5. He killed it this week with the baseball bat and his parts flying everywhere. Possibly a reference to the Mr. Potato Head. See, I'm
Gentleman
I'm thinking the
potato.
anime is gonna go wild. Gentleman Potato. But
Potato equivalent of Mr. Peanut.
didn't they kill off Mr. Peanut?
They did, and then he
brought him
became
back.
baby nut,
Right.
and I was horrified.
During all this
And then
stuff with
COVID
Baby
happened,
Yoshi.
so
I
it was
mean,
the
Baby
perfect
Yoshi,
time to
Baby
be like,
Yoda.
you know what? Why don't we just forget all this ever happened?
He grew up
Eat your
again.
peanuts.
He's
I can't
back.
believe that they said baby nut on television. I was so fucking pissed.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line.
Baby Nut sounds like a One Piece character.
You know what?
One of Big Mom's kids.
From Nuts Island. Yeah.
Of course.
Charlotte,
Of
that's
course,
Nuts
yeah,
Island.
naturally.
Charlotte Baby Nut.
I hate all of this.
But yeah, it's just wild, where we are right now in the series. There was so much action here. It was great. And okay, this is one thing that I thought of a lot. It's interesting how they keep bringing up that they're immortal, which is true, but like sometimes they'd be like, oh, they keep healing or something like that. But it always still makes me think of Law and the fruit. Because it's it's worrying is what it is. So I think they're pointing more and more towards possibly the op fruit was used on the elders.
Anything else, Jill?
Oh, I'm so excited for this fucking robot. You could do it, Robonosuke.
Robinosuke.
Yeah, he was in the anime this week.
That's just what I'm going to call him until we know his name.
Robinosuke is
good.
great.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
But not quite Ryunosuke, but
I still miss Ryunosuke to this day. I think about it
Exactly.
once a week.
Yeah, same.
I'm thinking about a tattoo. I'm not going to lie.
Well, look, ever since we found out Kandro's true identity, I'm sorry, Ryunosuke's been canceled.
Well, so is Ryunosuke
He's,
like a
he's
character
Yuneishi's
he
butt
made of
tattoo.
Kaido?
What did you just say? Hold on, both of you. What did you both say?
I said that Ryunosuke is now Zunaishi's butt tattoo.
Oh, I thought you said butt catcher.
That's true. That's also true. Alex, your thoughts?
You hang one of those up in your room?
Yeah, it catches dreams of farts and poop. Anyway, yeah, great chapter. Loved it. I really love seeing these elders in action. I think it's really interesting that the Giants have another name for Nika. I think, right?
Did they say?
Yeah. Do you know the form? Do you know the form of that god spoken of? Oh, spoken of in Elbaf. Never mind.
Yeah.
I read it.
I got
completely
theories about this.
wrong. Oh yeah, I'll see that to you then, and then I'll talk about other stuff like what the robot is grumbling, which I think is Lobo. Bring back Sheriff Lobo.
Probably.
Anyway, yeah. The baseball bat gimmick is my favorite thing ever. I'm so freaking happy. I love this comic so much. What a crazy and great thing. Yeah, I bet the Power Scalers are going to be super normal about the Zoro Lucci stuff this week.
What are they not?
Who cares?
Super normal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just think it's really funny because, like, this is what happens when you're week to week and you decide to make, like blanket statements about shit that could change at the drop of a hat. It's just, I don't know, it's hilarious to me, and I'm laughing all the way to the bank about it. So, I'm not getting paid.
It can't
for
all
it, but
be Odin's ghost.
That's right.
I think Dan posted that meme with the with Marcus Mars busting through saying bounties are just power levels for One Piece characters, and that's basically what we'll have to deal with. Yeah,
That's what people think, but
sure.
it's not true. And
No.
and do you know why I think this? Foxy's bounty was like,
yeah, he's
was-
really
it wasn't-
freaking powerful. Yeah,
it wasn't proportional to his strength at all.
He would definitely
He's-
beat Arlong, though, no doubt about
He's
it.
got-
He beat all
he's
the
got a
East Blue
dad-
guys.
He'd have
He's got a
Arlong's whole crew by
dad
the end of
bod.
that.
Easy.
His love junks.
His love fellows.
His love fellows, yeah, beaten by junks.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah. I really don't have very much to say about this chapter other than I thought it was dope. And I love that every single time I forget about the giant, I'm reminded about the giant.
yeah.
And I wonder what's gonna happen with Kizaru. Is he gonna I'm waiting on that face turn. He's just been making that same pose.
Sad face.
Oh, the pain.
Yes.
Terrible pain.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done. This is good. Good chapter. I loved it. Can't wait for another 3 weeks without a chapter. It's gonna be
Yeah, can't wait
fantastic.
for that.
It's gonna suck.
Steve Urko, what did you think?
Yeah, it's gonna suck. My opinions are kind of similar with Alex's. I wasn't sure going into this. It was like, are we gonna get like a huge bombshell right before this break? But like, knowing the past, I'm like, nah, Oda doesn't always like set up these hiatuses. I'm gonna leave you on a huge cliffhanger. Because I remember towards the end of Wano, like I can't remember which chapter it was specifically, but it wasn't like a earth shattering one. But this one is still like a big deal. I think the action is fantastic. I couldn't help but like just ooh and awe at all the cool things going on here with Zoro and Lucci, Dorian Brogy, Luffy, and then the giant robot showing up. Like this was cool. Like this, I'm kind of glad that Oda didn't feel like he didn't force himself to like end on a gigantic cliffhanger or wrap up the whole Vegapunk video buffering. I think
They're making coffee, Steve.
Sure, yeah, they're using dial-up for that video. But it was good. Like it was a lot of fun, and I don't know. Like I think I saw some people like in our Discord kind of mention like, oh, like the action was really hard to follow, and I'm not sure what they mean. Maybe they've all been reading Dragon Ball ever since Toriyama's passing, and it's like night and day comparing those two. But I felt like this was a pretty, artistically, like in page layout wise, a pretty great chapter. So,
Ed.
Yeah, it's just the intrigue of the five elders continues. I think the most interesting thing in this chapter is where Mercury says that we have much to settle with your kind, you giants, and what Luffy's obviously dressed up like the Nika, the sun god, and just based on like the giant straw hat that we saw in Mary Joa, I wonder if like Nika was originally the actual Nika, not the Nika fruit. The Nika, the god Nika, was actually a giant from 900 years ago or whatever, who fought against the world government and was defeated by them. There seems to be a connection with all the sort of ancient weapons, the Neptunians, the Poseidon, Nika, all this sort of giant connection here, and all this is reminding the elders, possibly who are actually immortal, of what it was like back then when they faced probably their strongest challenge ever, up until 200 years ago when the robot attacked Mary Joa and the Joy Boy who came too soon left that note on the poneglyph. But it really sort of shows what they're after. This is their version of the One, the Neo from the Matrix, basically. He's sent here to possibly change the world by being the reincarnation of what challenged them, the most the last time. So I love to see the way how grotesque the elders are, just how evil and twisted, but also how powerful they are, blowing even if Luffy does crazy cartoon things, like I don't know, he's so Bugs Bunny with the bat thing. Just the way he like purses his lips and puts his helmet on and does all that. It's very Bugs Bunny to me. But yeah, this chapter is great for the gags. I just love the way Luffy like does the bat thing like with his teeth. He shaves down the tree with his teeth.
The bat fetcher trick with his teeth.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just that's the giants and the elders seem to have. I mean, obviously, giants are much longer lived than humans, but so the giants are further removed generation-wise from the people who fought against the world government back then. Presumably, they fought against them, given how involved they are. And Elbaf, obviously never joined the world government, but yeah, that's the five elders and the giants are. Obviously are the most interesting part of this chapter to me, and then the robot is just the icing on the cake. It's a great cliffhanger.
Yeah, I don't know how much everyone went, right. I forget. I don't have a ton to add. I'll say that Steve's 56K thing made me think, first, like Egghead Online, how would that go? But I realized that's just the Netscape Navigator logo, the Egghead lava phase, so I think there's a pun there somewhere. I really, really enjoyed this chapter, as well as the last chapter. I agree with Steven, they kind of run into each other. I think this chapter, though, once again, just shows how unpredictable this arc has been. I think, as Jill said, you couldn't even imagine a few chapters ago, let alone at the beginning of this arc, where this was going to go. And yet, Oda planted that giant robot there at the very beginning of the arc, and here it comes. I don't remember if we mentioned, and I think it was actually probably around the chapter that you were on for the Robin thing, Roger.
The Saul
but
one?
like I don't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was around then when we first saw the robot here. But the horns are very reminiscent of oars and Onigashima. That strikes me as interesting.
Especially considering the cover story right now is also Onigashima. Right. It's stuff with Yamato and Momo. So I do wonder if maybe... Because this arc specifically, that's something that happened in Egghead, is we've been getting cover stories that are revealing things that are also happening in real time during the actual story. So like we got that with the pudding stuff with Blackbeard. So I mean, you might be onto something there with the connection.
Well, I thought, Roger, like the stuff you talked about the size being kind of a thing is very interesting, because Onigashima also is someone's skull.
Right.
So that is a very large skull. Remember, Kaido, not the largest man in stature, but definitely the largest dragon in stature, looked like a little thing compared to that skull. So it's really... that Zunaisha, which I was rereading while you were talking, trying to parse, what he said, just that he committed a great crime and had to walk, the earth for some reason. I haven't been able to find the apology to Joy Boy, but I do also kind of remember that, Stephen. I don't remember the specifics. I am super curious how this all comes together. I think, Stephen, on an SGS way back, I think it was maybe the question I asked you and Greg, just the idea of what the flashback to the Void Century is going to look like. The big flashback that's going to actually reveal how all these characters interacted, including Toki, who did exist during that time. Very dead now. No one's saying she isn't.
How wild would it be if literally we come back from this break and it's like, actually Toki's alive, and I've already sent out the
I ship you the figure back.
You have to ship it back. Yeah. You just drive back.
It's like, I guess you're going to get Ms. Hall Sunday now. I think that's
Toki,
how that would work.
Toki, who did not die.
Tiny Toki.
Exactly.
The Giants, I think, if we just think of Oda as a storyteller, he's been setting up the Giants as this the fact that they're the Vicky the Viking, they're the ones with the Norse mythology behind them, the stuff with Big Mom, all the stuff in Little Garden, obviously, Ennius Lobby, just this has been something slow building, simmering in the background since 2001. When was Little Garden? And well before then, because a lot of Oda's influences have been related to Viking and Norse mythology. So this is, and I think I said at the beginning of Egghead, Elbaf feels like that may be where the big battle ends up happening, or that may be where the climax of the series actually takes place. This might be the run-up, believe it or not. Super curious how we're going to get there over the next month. And then the stuff with the Iron Giant, as I mentioned, I don't know. I'm just like trying to think of like who has the balance of power here. Who's going to do well? Who's going to actually get away? I mean, besides Luffy and the Straw Hats, I assume, because it's kept going back and forth. It's like there have been moments in this where you're like, oh, Luffy and crew, they're going to just beat them. And other times where you're like, how the hell are they going to get out of this situation?
Yeah. It's interesting, too, that you bring up the thing with the lead up to the final war potentially being, Elbaf. Like, and that potentially maybe being the start of all of it. Because the thing I've been saying for like a long time now, I think even predating back to like when we were doing Whole Cake Island stuff, when we were talking about the road poneglyph.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, right? Like 7-8 years ago, whatever. I remember saying multiple times that I kind of feel like the last road poneglyph would make sense to be an Elbaf, with all just the connections to like the ancient history and the Void Century and potentially, especially now with Saul being there and the books from O'Hara, like it would make a lot of sense for that to be there and for the fight for it to potentially like go underway at that point. Also, you got to remember, like throughout the course of Egghead Island, we've been seeing glimpses of what all the other Yonko are doing. We saw the stuff with Shanks and Kid. We've seen the stuff with Blackbeard and Law. So I mean, like, the lead up is that Buggy literally declaring, I want to go after the One Piece, and Mihawk and Crocodile being shocked by that. So yeah, I don't think you're too far off. And, not to say I think it's going to end anytime soon. Like, I certainly feel like we have a lot to go still, but I do definitely feel like, especially with the Five Elders showing up here, like that seemed like something I thought we were at least a couple years away from still. So the fact that we not only got all of them in one spot, but then also all of their powers as well, like seeing these demonic yokai, whatever you want to call them, forms of these elders. It's exciting stuff, man.
It's still not clear that they're devil fruits either.
No, they could literally be
this.
devils. Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, demons, devil, they could be something. Yeah. I wonder. So we went from 10 minutes. We're at 6 minutes now. So the last month or so has been 4 minutes. For those wondering. And we have another month until we even get another second through this, but I wonder, the Straw Hats don't really care or know about what's going on with Vegapunk's video right now that's transmitting through the world. So there's not really any effort underway to stop the Five Elders or the government from just cutting the transmission. So I wonder, especially with York and all this, like how, are we going to see the transmission, number one? And how is it going to actually happen? What's going to actually stop the Five Elders, these extremely powerful / maybe immortal creatures from stopping that transmission?
Once we get out to sea, realistically, the older elder, I mean, God forbid, maybe they can swim. I don't know. But realistically, I think only the bird one could go after them, and then maybe it'd be tied up with the robot. But I think just transmission wise, I wonder, first of all, where it's specifically coming from. I mean, we saw it looked like it was in the lava phase somewhere. But also, like, they're all leaving the lava phase. Everyone's trying to escape.
Yeah.
So, and then what I'm saying is there's different goals happening here for the most part. The Five Elders are trying to get to the lava phase, and everyone else is trying to get the fuck off the island.
Also, do we know where Robin is currently?
maybe she's pushing with the rest of them. No, I mean, she was a little bit injured. We also don't know where Stussy is, right? We haven't seen her in a while.
Right.
She got shot, but it's One Piece.
Yeah.
So.
Where's Chopper? I forget where Chopper.
Chopper was with Susie.
Oh.
Okay, so maybe Robin is
go.
with them then. There you go. That's like the one group that we still have to see from.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Not to take over with like theory stuff too, but it's just like this arc is filled with stuff to chew on. I also feel like because we spent so much time, not as a slight by the way, like I adored it with the Kuma flashback. I do feel like Kuma's story is also still not done yet too. I feel like obviously he came and he helped Bonnie, but I would not be surprised if there's like one big last hurrah from Kuma at the end of all of this too. Either maybe using like an awakening or something to either transport everybody that needs to be transported, or the island itself potentially, like to keep everybody from being destroyed from the Buster Call. Like, I have literally no idea. I have no idea where it's going, and that's I think what's so exciting. You know, I feel like in the lead up to... Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, I was thinking the same exact thing, because that pose from Lucci absolutely does remind me of Zoro and the Nothing Happened scene. So it reminded me that like Kuma's still around.
Yes.
And he's got a shitload of powers that could be very helpful in this situation.
And this is Kuma's arc. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah,
it's Kuma and Bonnie's arc. And Vegapunk, you know, like that whole group. So I feel like that feels like eons ago, that flashback.
It does.
Now, just
really.
because of, in terms of the story. I mean, for us reading weekly, it certainly feels way longer ago than it actually was. But yeah, I feel like the momentum of the energy and the emotion in that story is gonna, the longer it takes to wrap up or to come to some sort of head, the less you're gonna have the emotional resonance. Yeah. I feel like, so I do feel like something has to happen there.
I am really glad you brought up the whole thing too of like how it feels like eons ago, when realistically like there wasn't there just a manga volume that was released in Japan, the one with Kizaru on the front of it. Because
108.
That volume ended, correct me if I'm wrong, with the Thank You Bonnie chapter, right? So that's not quite the end of the Kuma flashback, but you get close to it. If we're going by the same amount...
Oh, no. It ended with Luffy, the Kuma getting to
Luffy. Okay, so there
Village,
you go. Yeah. So yeah, even I think since that chapter, right? There's only been like 10 chapters. So presumably if they're still including like 10 to 12 chapters every volume, this chapter we're reading and talking about right now is going to be in the same volume in which we get the end of the Kuma flashback.
That's true. Yeah, that's not... Well, so it's 11 chapters. This is 1100 is the end of 108.
So 101,
right,
102,
probably.
103, 104, 105, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11.
You don't have to count all of them.
Yeah, I was going through all of them. Yeah, I changed my head.
I hear enough counting.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think that's a very good point too. Like that, I think that's the drawback of doing this weekly. Anyway, I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about when we get to piece together, because I'm sure we'll have some questions. Thank you all. Very fun chapter. Too bad we can't do this for another month. But let's move on to the next segment.
All right.
Woo!
Hello, gentlemen potatoes. This is the Piece Together segment where we take your questions, comments, and theories and decide whether or not they put safety first, and whether or not you could find my chainsaw and hockey mask. I see. Steve
didn't get all of it on that one, did you, Zach?
No, I did. I don't normally throw 3 in, but we had a lot of good titles.
You got greedy.
I guess 2 heads really are better than 1.
You've said that already. You can read alternate titles and alternate images at patreon.com.
Joy boy! You got greedy, Zach.
Joy boy.
Joy boy!
What's our first segment, Ed?
Zach, it's Dispiece.
Our patrons on Discord have questions. Alex, can you ask them?
Yes. I pickled the figs myself, says. Hey, OPP, do you think Oda is going to tie Yamato's cover story with events that are going on in the main story, like the Germa cover story, and him possibly returning to the Straw Hats and Elbaf, since that is one of the islands after Wano, and there is stuff there that ties into Elbaf, like the clones of the ancient giants and the fact that Big Mom is still in Wano. Yamato can end up defending Wano from the Big Mom pirates, and they end up on Elbaf, so Big Mom's story could be resolved during the Elbaf arc. From pen name, I wish those perverts would stop sending Oda my horny SBS questions and send them to the One Piece podcast instead.
You did add "my" to that. It's not their question.
Oh, I
questions.
Oh, that was a weird Freudian slip.
This is the person who's sending the SBS questions. We kind of mentioned this.
We did. We talked about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Roger mentioned it a bit.
Yeah. And I think it would be cool. I don't know if we're going to see that or not for this one, but
Yeah.
I would love to see Yamato and Elbaf. I just think he would get along so well. He'd be like, hey, look at all this huge stuff, guys.
Yeah, like sort of how it took another arc for Jinbei to get there. Sort of like everything's happening on a delay now.
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, great. Punk-fessional Poyo Phase says, howdy OPP. A great chapter for us to sit on for next, looks at calendar, 3 weeks. Speaking of which, it seems Twitter being Twitter completely missed Oda being cheekily hyperbolic about figuring out what the One Piece is, amongst other things. Do you think this is a situation of Oda having One Piece in his brain for decades, but now needing to think exactly how he wants to reveal it with the climax of the story approaching? Could it be that Vegapunk's message is going to make him have to sit down and think what he does and doesn't want to reveal? All I'm saying is let him cook, and for him to take time to himself, of course. Have a good day.
You know, I said this in private, but when his statement came out, I was like, gee, I sure hope people on the internet don't read too much into that statement.
Yeah.
Because it clearly felt like a joke, and lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Or maybe, maybe it's just...
Oh, maybe Oda wasn't the GOAT after all.
I think...
Turns out we were sheep.
I think Oda knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think
I don't know,
he
I
knows
always
the
just
poet
like I
incest
think
is
I'm
posting.
familiar enough with his brand of humor, and maybe I could pick up on sarcasm when I was like, "Oh, that's a funny joke."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
I wonder if someone just pulled the alarm, like, "Oh my god, he doesn't know what he's doing." No, I realized I was muted because I just want to comment on the Yamato thing.
Oh yeah.
Because with the previous cover story, how we saw like Kuzan and Van Ogre kidnapped Pudding, and then like the next chapter, like she's there kidnapped in like the present day. I would love to see Yamato's cover story intersect if he goes to Elbaf. Something happens in the manga, and then Yamato is like documenting it on the next cover story. Like it's simultaneous. Almost for some reason, I'm imagining Yamato with like a phone, just doing like a selfie video, and it's just like, oh my god, huge bombshell dropped at Egghead, and like everyone's like kind of just looking over, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, Odin wrote everything down,
Dude, are
but
you recording
Yamato's going to
this?
be video recording everything.
TikTok.
Treeverse baseball match says, that's a good one. Hey Looney Tunes, this chapter had some great gags with Luffy getting his clothes and scars Charlie Browned off, corn on the cob and a tree into a baseball bat, thank you very much, using his super fast paint drying powers and making random explosions like early Simpsons. So what other great cartoon gags do we want to see from our boy? I personally want to see him stick his finger in the barrel of a big gun, then we get puff up and explode in an opponent's face. Also, why do the elders not want Luffy to know the name of his fruit?
Wasn't the random explosions more of an early Family Guy thing?
I was thinking Aqua Teen.
Yeah, with the
Oh yeah, it was
yeah,
where it would
yeah.
explode.
Aqua Teen's
Oh no,
crazy.
C Lab. At the end of every
yes.
C Lab, it would explode. Yeah.
It
Though
would, yeah.
you bring up a really good idea, actually, Stephen, which is that, if you want to have a Family Guy gag and you want to play on the giant chicken fights, have Luffy fight Big News Morgans at some point.
No.
How many
amazing.
chapters would that be?
Yeah, it goes on for 5 chapters.
Goes on for a
Then we
whole
get another
story arc.
3-week
It'd be
hiatus,
amazing.
and the fight's unfinished.
Holy crap, Chopper. This is like the time I met William Shatner at that Star Trek convention. And I also met Captain Picard. And it's going to be Patrick Stewart, because he's a friend of mine. Watch the clip.
There it is.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
A gag I would like to see. I would like to see Luffy like just maybe like drop like a giant mallet or something on an enemy, and then when he lifts it, and they all turn into like several tiny versions of that enemy.
The worm.
Oh yes.
Well, they
That'd
kind
be
of
good.
he did when he slapped the two of them together and they turned into like the piece of paper
Pancakes?
falling.
That's
Yeah,
not what I
pancakes.
mean, Zach.
But it's kind of
They
like
got to
that.
be tiny miniature versions, multiple of them, running around trying to recollect themselves so they can form the bigger.
He
versions
smashes
of the normal.
Akainu with a giant hammer, and then you get little baby Akainus just running all over the place,
Yeah.
little chibi
Yeah.
Akainus.
I want him to punch Marcus Mars in the face and have the beak like do it like turn around to the other side of his head.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
And then
good.
gotta
That's
get
good.
that
Or he
back
does
on
the
front.
paint going through the tunnel on the.
Yes.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
I want to see one of the elders slam into a wall. Like that.
I want to hear one of the elders do the Tom yell.
There's a chance it could happen.
Oh no! I want Luffy to set up a piano that's rigged to explode when they play the exact song. Well,
Yes.
It sounds like no, it's like this.
yeah.
No, the drums of liberation sound like this.
I gotta watch some Looney Tunes after this. This is just getting me in the mood for the original
That's
here.
that's my favorite Looney Tunes gag of all time.
It's a very good one.
It always makes me laugh. It's so.
There
funny.
are a lot of I feel like
Yeah.
I'm due for a Looney Tunes rewatch.
I was just reminded the other day, or I just saw the other day, one of the variations on the finger in the barrel of the gun, but it's like he pulls the finger out and the gun is fine, and then he looks at the finger and the finger shoots him in the face.
Now that's what I call timeless humor.
That's a great
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. It was from 1930. I mean, that's 50. It just shows you.
God. As to why do the elders not want Luffy to know the name of his fruit? I was thinking about this earlier too, and I think like maybe they're like worried that like if the name Nika gets known throughout the world again, then
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
everything.
He
that,
says
you know,
something in
It's
this.
it's like Roger 2.0 that like the entire world is going to react to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger.
There you go.
Yeah, you don't want your name getting out.
It
Look,
could
it
also
already
be that
happened on
Luffy.
Twitter a couple weeks ago. I'm used to it.
Oh, no.
More time. All right.
It could also be that if Luffy learns the name of his fruit, maybe they're afraid he'll like learn more powers or something, or start following that exact path or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, knowing Luffy, he's probably not going to give a crap anyway, and
Wait
that's
a
going to
second.
be
No.
No,
big-
yeah.
Wait,
They're
it was
fools.
revealed back when Kaku and Khalifa ate their fruits. When you consume the fruit, you learn the name of it. So when Luffy ate his fruit, how come he didn't realize it was called the human fruit?
He's a kid. He was stupid.
Yeah.
That
Also,
actually
real
came
dumb.
up recently. I forgot. what
Oda's
I
not the
was on.
goat after all.
I was on like some group discussion. Wasn't that line from an SBS where he confirmed that? It's like when you eat it, you learn.
I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I
It
think
was.
that's
It
right.
was like an
Yeah.
SBS thing. Yeah.
And he makes that shit up half the time, anyways.
And he may have forgotten.
I'm
He
just,
said.
Maybe
I'm
the fruit
just
lied
being
to him.
heel right now.
Also,
Yeah.
Luffy's a moron. So
That's true.
Joey
yeah.
isn't.
He's
Guys,
And Shanks was like, "Oh, the gum fruit." Luffy's like, okay, I misheard."
oh, you ate the gum fruit?
yeah,
thought
like
you
I
said
bet
the
like
human fruit model.
You ate the gum fruit. I could have sworn it was the human fruit. it isn't.
no. Yeah. Like Luffy, who are
okay.
you going to believe? Your dumb little mind or me, Shanks, the person that you admire the most?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
My mind is little and dumb. What's the next question?
Well, this is from 42 NLs on the Moon, who says, "A happy Purim to you, OPP. The 5 elders seem immortal, but given the nature of shonen manga, I doubt that's completely true. So what do we think is the condition or source for their immortality? And is it connected to how Emu has apparently been around for centuries?"
So I meant to say this, Stephen. We've previously discussed how they're ageless. They probably,
Seemingly, yeah.
seemingly. This is the first time I feel like immortal, meaning like can't be beaten, has been coming up. When I say this is the first time, I mean this arc. I wonder how much of it is. I mean, obviously, Luffy in this same chapter makes a very incorrect judgment about something, so it is possible he is also wrong about this. That being the poison versus explosives.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think the regenerating is immortality, or do you think I doubt
think, well,
they're literally, but
Yeah, I mean, I said this last week, and I'm this week certainly did nothing to dissuade me from this opinion that like I'm kind of the opinion that like they are all like sort of vestigial limbs of Emu at this point, that they are like shadow demons of some kind,
like
and,
the FMA thing.
Yeah,
Homunculi.
and that that's why they can't be killed, is because they don't even have like a true corporeal form of some kind. This is all some weird sort of demonic power of some sort. I mean it's still One Piece, so I imagine it does come down to a fruit. It's just what fruit is that exactly, and I don't know. Maybe hey, maybe he could reveal it. Maybe he just didn't want to reveal it when he showed off all the monstrous forms. He didn't want to say what fruit they have. It could totally be something more mundane than this crazy scenario that I'm envisioning, but it still does seem very possible to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm always wondering if they are just straight up off branches of Emu, or if they're like, I think this is right. We don't know if they all became elders at the same time, right? They could be, for all we know, like centuries in between. So it's interesting if they were like regular-ish humans, and that Emu like put something in them or took part of them over to make them into this. I don't know.
Some point, wasn't there a line? I could be making this up, but I don't think I am. Wasn't there a line at some point where they were like, when we take this form, and they were talking about their human form? Like when they were talking about being in their human form. This was like a couple chapters ago. I'm sure if I go back, I could probably try to find it. But I could have sworn there was some line along the lines of like, I hate being in this form. Like Saturn was referring to his human self and not the like demon, whatever this thing is. Because if that's the case, and they're purposely like taking on the forms of world leaders or something, right? If they're choosing to do this because it feels like it'll give them authority over the world in a way where people aren't like freaked out by humans, right? As they would be like giant demonic boar creatures and birds or whatever. I wonder if there's something along those lines, and that this is actually like their true form. I don't know.
Saturn turns into his Gyuki form and he goes, finally, I hate having old balls.
I guess there's another thing on what Joe was saying about like sort of being, I guess, recruited or taken over by, is that we did mention that like if you look very carefully, you can kind of see that there are different numbers on the circles, the summoning circles.
Yes, right.
So you could envision that there's some like hierarchy between the five, or like a numbering order, which, if they didn't all, come into being at the same time, maybe that's like the order that they got, brought in by Emu or something.
Good. Interesting stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Usopp the Great says, Hessa OPP, Steve, the Straw Hats are on the run again. But at least the Iron Giant is coming to save the day by sacrificing itself for the crew. My prediction? And then there's a gif of from Monty Python and the Holy Grail of them running away from the killer rabbit of Carbonorg and going, "Run away! Run away!"
I wouldn't classify this as the annoying post-time skip running away trope just yet, because at least they're like they're going to leave. I don't know. It's like
time.
They're clearly like, we're ready to move on to the next arc, even though that kind of happened in Whole Kick too. But, I wasn't thinking about that, so don't put that thought in my head.
Yeah. He also says, I have to comment on the anime opening. The moment where Law, Kid, and Kobe are struggling to stand but keep on going is perfect. I am inclined to agree, except for Kid, because he gets his shit ruined. He wouldn't keep going. He would sink to the sea. Fuck him.
Tremendous.
Yeah. Straw Hat Rigby says, how's it going, OPP? During the special episode as a tribute to Akira Toriyama, Rip King, Alex mentioned how anyone who knows him knows he got into OPP because of a trip he went on in Greece. That made me realize I don't actually know how any of the lore of how the lot of you OG OPP members first got into One Piece and your journey with its incredible story. If possible, could you all maybe give a quick rundown like you do with first-time guests? Thanks as always, and have a great week. We've done this a lot.
We've done this a bunch. I mean, Ed and I were roommates, and he kept trying to get me to watch. And eventually, when I had a very bad roommate another year, I did. That's my origin story.
Yeah.
I got Shonen Jump from Blockbuster
There it is.
in middle school, and the rest is history.
I got
The
Shonen
first
Jump
issue
because
of
of the
Shonen
Yu-Gi-Oh
Jump, yeah.
cards. They had Yu-Gi-Oh cards packed in, and I would go specifically to Barnes & Noble or Borders or whatever with my dad. And I remember there was one time I opened up one, and I was like, oh, what is this like goofy-looking pirate thing? I want to read this. And it was it was like a Serp Village chapter. I think it was like, or no, actually, I think it was Arlong Park. I think I've talked about this before. It was Usopp fighting Chu. I knew it was something Usopp related. And yeah, then I fell in love with it. I went and I read all the volumes, and I've been a fan ever since.
Oh.
And I was a Japanese language student in high school, and I had been collecting English manga for 2 or 3 years at that point. And then when I discovered that there was a Japanese bookstore locally that I could go to, I got an issue of Jump and saw the new hot shit on the cover, which was One Piece. It was in the Arlong arc at that time. And I thought, oh, this seems cool. And then I got the first couple volumes when I was in Japan on an exchange trip.
Let's see.
You were like, what a long manga. 9 volumes.
Yeah.
I still have my physical jumps, so I know I started
too.
in the middle of Sanji's flashback.
Summer of 2001, I went to Greece. I saw the Greek dub on television. Zoro was fighting the Nyaban brothers, and I was like, that guy has 3 swords. It's cool as shit. And then I went back home, and I went on eBay, and I bought a whole bunch of Hong Kong DVDs, and that's my origin story.
So did I. I also bought those at one point, and I thought they were legitimate. I was too early. I'm like, wow, like 120 episodes on
Sign me
about
up.
16 discs. A little too early for that, but
Yeah.
Zach,
Ed?
you had got me back into anime freshman year of college, but it was actually one of our neighbors who was in one of my classes with me, Erica, who gave me the
Not
first
mine.
volume of from college. Gave me the first volume of One Piece back then, and then I watched the anime that summer afterwards, and like for the next year and a half, I bugged you incessantly to watch it.
And it worked eventually. You just have to
Yeah.
You have to be persistent. Yeah. I remember when she gave us that volume. I don't think I was like against it. I just think it was so long, 400
We were actually in a
chapters.
class where like you were learning like research skills. We had to write a research paper, but the topic of our class was like all like comic books and stuff. So she was writing about One Piece, and that's how
Right,
I saw
right,
it for the first time.
Right. All right, that's all of us. Hopkins Hat 15 says, "Hey OPP, how it be? I love chapter 1111 of 11111 One Piece. I'm glad we're getting some payoff for the CP9 cover story. After everything the other Cypher Pole agents did for Lucci, he's begun to care for them. Do you think the anime will do anything to acknowledge the CP9 cover story for when this chapter gets adapted, like a mini flashback or something? Probably not. Because
God,
yeah,
I
they should
hope so.
they should do another montage set to Dear Friends, and it should just be all the scenes from the covers.
they're like bowling,
yeah.
CP9 bowling, and washing people with bubbles.
Yep.
Or whatever the
I
fuck
think
they
we're
were
at the
doing.
point where the anime needs to start doing the cover stories. It's
Yeah,
kind of blown
some of
my
them are
mind that they
important.
don't really.
Yeah.
To be
In
fair, that
hindsight,
little
though,
bit
I
that we
wouldn't-
got. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying, in hindsight, I don't think the CP9 cover story is as integral to the plot.
It's not.
I
really.
feel
Not
like
at all.
without seeing it, you kind of
Yeah.
surmise like, I mean, they're like, there's never been a point in the canon story where they're like, oh, you were in deep trouble at one point, Lucci, but then you got promoted.
Yeah, just not making
Yeah,
sense.
like-
Still follows.
Wasn't it like the first time we saw them in CP0? I was like, wait, they're back? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cover story is literally just like them picking up the pieces after Ennis Lobby. Then they're on the run because Spandam blamed them for everything. Then they're like poor, and then they're like, well, we're animals, so let's do tricks on the street and panhandle while Lucci recovers from his wounds in the hospital. And then they go bowling, and then they save a town, and then they get promoted in the government.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. Wisdom Pythagoras says, "Hey OPP, this probably won't happen, but what if the Iron Giant isn't our ticket out of here like we thought? What if it's apologizing to Joy Boy for something he's about to do, like attacking Luffy or something? It feels a bit like overkill to have the giant pirates come in to save the day and then have the Iron Giant do it again. I don't know. Part of me feels like there could be some sort of twist here. Thank you, OPP."
The idea of the giant just like doing something and Luffy going, "Sorry, Joy Boy," is so funny to me that I almost hope so. It's like after all this hype.
I think it'd be really funny if the Iron Giant like just takes Luffy and just goes no, like to the giants, and is like my rescue. I mean, obviously the giants are there to as a way for them to get to Elbaf. I think that's
for sure.
That's really why they're there. Yeah. Sheepman, remember Sheepman? Says, "Howdy OPP. What do you guys think Luffy's batting average and MPH are? What other sports will Luffy play in the future in Gear 5th? We've had baseball now and track with the road running like running. I've loved some sports-related Gear 5 merch."
The goggles? Is that something?
Pickleball, right? You play pickleball?
No, not
Swimming.
goggles.
Squash. That's
Swimming.
With
I hope he
Squash.
dunks on one of them.
I mean, I'd like to see Luffy do like a tennis gag where he hits someone with a racket and they like go into a bunch of cubes, basically.
Yes.
Like a gelatin.
I thought you were going to
Yes.
say something with the sweatband, like 80s looking.
Bjorn Borg.
It would be fire though to get a Space Jam One Piece crossover with like Luffy looking at the Gorosei lovingly, being like, "Don't ever call me doll," and then just dunking on them would be awesome.
He drinks Michael's special juice or whatever.
Yeah, right, exactly. This Michael Jordan special one.
Please don't ever say Michael's special juice.
Sorry, MJ's special juice. Does that
Right.
make it better?
That's worse. That makes it worse.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, we're not naming the episode that either.
You know what though? You know what? I would also love to see at some point maybe Luffy like sitting in a chair and like being blown back by the stereo quality of the cassette tape that he's listening to. You can call him like Maxwell D. Luffy or something like that. You know, that'd be kind of
Maxwell.
Maxell.
Maxell.
I screwed that up. I'm sorry.
We'll try that again. What's next, Alex?
Don Quixote D the Third says, "Hey OPP," in which he had an old school biblical "be not afraid" moment in today's chapter. Anyway, with all these old men talking about insects so much, what would each Straw Hat's favorite bug be?
Oh, Luffy
Well,
likes
we know
the
which one's
Hercules
like them.
beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yep.
stag beetles.
And Usopp liked. What did we know? Like specifically,
he likes spiders.
tarantulas. Yeah.
He likes tarantulas.
Yeah.
Sanji and Nami are right out. They don't like bugs. Period.
Well,
I'm
lady
sorry, I'm
bugs
thinking about
would
the
like
question.
something
I'm still thinking
creepy,
about
I
the question
think.
here.
Or Robin.
But like the reaction to the elders is a lot like the biblical reaction to angels. They're just these horrifying, beings with gigantic eyes in the sky with wings and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emu's favorite is butterflies.
It's true.
You know, you'd think Sanji did have a favorite, ladybugs.
Yeah.
Ah, nice.
Choppers
Where's
are
that ladybug?
He's gonna get eaten alive in middle school.
No. We know Sanji only likes rodents.
Yeah.
I got no
I was
reaction.
gonna make a tasteless joke there, but I won't.
Chopper likes the flu bug because he can cure it.
That's
Wow.
The Kestia
No.
bug.
Yeah. No, that's Nami's favorite.
oh, she loves that one.
Uh-huh.
What's the next question?
Sailor Karna is universal, says, "Hey OPP, just wanted to say thanks for the Toriyama tribute. It was a small bit of closure that we needed. I'm glad that Oda is taking another long break. I wonder where he went for vacation this year." I don't know.
Yeah, I'm glad he is too. Oh, so by the way, the chapter that they left off that was the quote-unquote cliffhanger was Ryokugyu coming. Yeah, that's during the Wano, which we were excited for a long time, but wasn't like the biggest cliffhanger in the
Yeah,
world.
that turns out that Ryokugyu is one of the worst characters in the entire series as far as like pieces
morals.
of shit goes. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, I remember
I
for
like his
so
power.
long, people are like, "What's he gonna be like? What kind of type of justice will he have?" And the answer is just douchebag.
Douchebag
Facebook
justice.
account.
Yeah.
A guy with an active Facebook account, I
Xenophobic
should say.
justice. Yeah.
With an accent. It's saying something when I like Jack more than I like Green Bull. So
He's
All
got
right.
that pachyderm thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So we got one last one from Tanuki Dice Fan, a.k.a. Cram, who says, Ahoy OPP, banger chapter as always. I can't believe Lucci cares about Kaku, or anyone for that matter. The Gear 5 jokes made me laugh hard. Anyway, what do you think the history is between the Giants and the Five Elders? Wrong answers only. Have a great
They
week.
dating. They used to date their exes.
Sometimes the simplest answer is the best answer.
Oh man.
they cut in front of him at line at McDonald's.
Ooh. Like in the drive-thru.
Yeah, yeah, like they drove in front of him.
Just stepped
Yeah,
over
no.
the car.
The Giants went to McDonald's and they did order the 55 burgers, 55 fries, but then they forgot to pay for it.
And they refused to move out of the line. It's waiting for it to be ready.
Oh, Steve, let's redo the image.
That's it for this piece.
That's it for this piece.
Ed, we have emails. What's our jingle for that?
Oh, yes, Zach. Why don't you read us some emails?
I have one, and it is a preface. I'll put it that way so you know what we're getting into when we start. This one comes from Ben Wild, who you may know. Hi, podcast. It only took 14 years and hundreds of dollars, but I finally earned the title Friend of the Show. I feel like Greg getting assigned Oda drawing. What do I do with my life now? Ha ha, which I assume is flat. On to the point. As you know, every year I do trivia questions. Relax. It's still a month away. Given that this will be...
It scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I said it was a preface at the beginning, so it wouldn't scare the shit out of you. Given that this will be the 10th year I'll be doing this, wow, I thought it would be nice to do something special, so I'm giving you all a choice. 10 normal questions at $20 a piece, or 5 harder questions at $40 a piece. Over the last 6 years, you've gotten 19.5 out of 30 correct. If I remember right, you did have one clean sweep in the early years. Looking forward to finding questions and playing the game. Keep up the great work. I am Maji.
There was less trivia to remember at the time.
That's
Yeah.
true. It was a much shorter series.
Also, we've gotten a lot older and a lot more forgetful.
So wait, 5 hard questions at $40 or 10? Doesn't that end up being the same? So it's
It
Yeah.
does.
So you just want more questions or easier? And easier ones? Or...
We do the easier questions because look, those questions are always hard as shit. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest.
I'd like 10 normal questions, yeah.
yeah, I'll do 10 normal questions.
But give us the hard ones also for just as a
Yes,
goof.
yeah. If you had them ready, I don't want you to make up hard questions for the sake of it. Although you can, I don't care. Ed, it's time too.
Peace the tweet! Yeah. Signed to Peace the tweet. First one comes from Emil Nordpol, who says, Greetings, OPP. What do you think is up with the celestial dragons and devil fruits? Apart from Doflamingo and Corazon, no person of heavenly descent has one, that we know of. But they willingly feed them to their slaves, regardless of the power they may gain. They feel like they're in complete control, I guess.
I can't imagine literally, I don't think they would want to eat something called a devil fruit. I bet they think it's like impure or something. Just based on the idea.
I mean, yeah, you could see. I mean, you could just see it as straight up like a purity thing of like, our noble human, better than human blood does not deserve to be diluted by this weird unnatural powers. Yada yada. Yada. I think that.
I mean, they're already devils as it is. Well, I mean, the 5 elders are, not the. They just have. They're just evil.
But Ed, is this the devil?
Is this
Have
the
we-
devil?
There it is.
We have to offer them more.
That's my line.
Yeah, sorry. I should do Jammer's line. What is it? Those bastards have laid claim to everything we hold dear. Right?
Jammer will be
Voice
back.
match. Yeah, if that character comes back, you could just
You could just do it, yeah. By the way, did we recently talk about the sated worshippers? Because now we have actual satanic creatures, so maybe we will come back.
Wow. Yeah.
Did we ever bring up the total lob idea that maybe Emu has the devil fruit?
God, that is a lob.
What if it's something as simple and easy as that? Just Emu
I
has
mean,
the devil fruit, and is the reason devil fruits exist. I don't know.
Yeah, someone pointed
Human
out
favorite
actually
fruit.
during the chapter in which Emu was attacking Cobra and Sabo that he's got the traditional kind of devil tail with the point on it, with that little bit with the arrow.
Oh, yeah, that's
It's a
right.
forked tail.
So, he definitely could just have the devil fruit that allows you to summon demons and stuff. Yeah.
Is he gonna trademark devil fruit? Yeah, NFL trademarked Super Bowl, so no one could refer to it as Super Bowl
As
anymore.
anything else.
Is one of his powers to trick blues musicians by selling their souls to him and then giving them unlimited?
Oh my God! How fire would that be for a
blues
Brook
playing
fight
power?
with Emu? Oh my gosh, where Brook is playing "The Devil Goes Down to Georgia" or something, and they have a
Fiddle of Gold
Oh my God!
I like it. I like it.
against the Soul King. Anyway,
Jelly Jar Jackson.
What's next, Ed?
Joyo Boyo says, 1111 was a great chapter. Gear 5 stole the show for me. However, I wanted to know if any of you guys have played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth recently. I really feel like a One Piece game set in that gameplay style would fit so well, especially in a retelling of One Piece in game format.
Okay, but look, before...
Keep dreaming.
I'm sorry. It's, you have to finish your Sunday first, and by that, I'm referring to One Piece Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. No spoilers for Rebirth. I'm 50 hours in, and I'm halfway done. I'm not even scratched the surface yet. I love it, by the way. It's a fantastic game. Roger, I've seen your tweets. I know how much you love it also.
Oh, yeah, incredible. Yeah, one of my favorite games of all time now. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Jill? I know you're the Final Fantasy.
Oh,
person.
I've only played 14. Listen.
Yeah, Jill's
Only?
in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
now.
Final Fantasy 14 and
It's
Crystal
its own
Chronicles
country.
are literally all I've played.
Yeah.
But I will say, this our talk about giants is very interesting when you put it in the lens of Final Fantasy 14.
Look, I'm gonna piggyback off of Steve and say we've had a lot of different One Piece games over the years using a lot of different systems. None of them really worked that well. So
I want to ask, do people just want One Piece set in a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth kind of world, so they could have impractical, stupid-looking bikinis, just
Yeah, it's the Nami fans are jealous of Tifa. That's what's going on here.
yeah, well, they'll never get what Tifa has. Let me tell you, this happens every couple of years. I won't play the latest Pirate Warriors game until 4 years after it comes out, and then I go super hard into it. And I'm playing Pirate Warriors 4 right now, and I'm having a pretty good time because it's just mindless fun. And honestly, right now I think that's the proper place for One Piece games, just mindless Muso fighting. Mm-hmm. I mean, it works. I don't have to constantly go back to Alabasta and then decide to quit the game and never play it again, no matter how good it looks and how kind of fun the turn-based RPG
Does everyone always want to
to
go back to Alabasta?
I don't know. Even the DLC, you go back to Alabasta. For crying out loud. One Piece Odyssey.
maybe one day I'll give
gorgeous-looking
Unlimited
game,
Adventure another shot. But
I also I want them to make another Burning Blood. I loved legitimately
fun.
loved Burning Blood, and I think something along those lines would be really cool. But
or make another Power Stone fighter. Fuck it.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
Grand
those
Battle.
were great.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Anyway, thanks for the question. Rebirth is really good. I'm trying to just not talk about it because if I do, I'm gonna
for
keep
sure,
gushing.
accidentally spoil yourself on something too. You don't.
I don't want to do that. Yeah.
No.
Next question, Ed.
All right. Gabe Ruiz says, OPP the pig had something to settle with the Giants. It seems Giants allied with Joy Boy in the Void Century. Why weren't they hunted down like Lunarians and Buccaneers? Because they're easy to find on Elbaf. Did Joy Boy leave them something to help like Fishman Island has Noah?
Oh, interesting.
Maybe they just maybe they kept trying, but they just got knocked around too much by the Giants themselves. Were just too strong for them.
They're too big.
Yeah,
Whatever that.
that's what Luffy says. Too big.
But what's stopping Emu from just attacking from the sky? There's got to be something.
the mother frame shows up and like the giants just smack it out of the air like it's a bug.
Mother Flame.
It's like it's annoying fly.
That's Mother Flame, right? That's
Yeah.
I forgot. Is it Mother Flame or Frame?
Yeah.
Flame.
It's Flame.
Flame.
If it was a Mother Frame, then it would be a Gundam.
So it's a Mother Frame. It's a portrait of Emu's mom.
It's a picture of Agnes. Agnes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Means lamb of God.
Thank you. There it is. Brogy.
All right, last one comes from Shaheen, who says, "So with this week's chapter, it looks like we're going binary 11111. When do you think this arc will end? Is anyone still in the running?" We redid the guesses.
Oh yeah.
After seeing the Gorose's transformations, it's more impressive that Sabo was able to escape and make it out of Marijoa alive.
Roger, we need yours.
Okay.
But I'll go through. So, end of arc predictions, which may be soon, may not.
See,
be.
I lucked out
We
that I'm
already
doing
redid
mine
them
so
once.
late. This feels like cheating
You are.
almost.
So Roger, give you some
Well, we just
history.
redid them. Everyone redid them.
We
in
did
the last
them.
few months.
We did them once at the beginning of the arc. We all got way under. The highest one was Ed's, which was 1105. So we're well past that. This time I'll go through it in order. Sam, I'm sorry if it lasts one more chapter. You've lost 1111. Then we got Alex. If it ends next week, you win 1112 next
I mean,
week.
3 weeks
Next
from now.
month. Next month. Then Steven, you said 1114. Randy said 11:15. Steve, you said 11:17. Then Jeff Thu said 11:20. Jill, you said 11:25. Jusil said 11:30. Marianne 11:36. Sungwon said 11:40. Brodsky 11:23. Sorry, that one was out of order. Oh, Ed, you said 11:22, and I said 11:50. So if you remembered any of that, that's fine. If not, whatever.
Yeah.
Roger, when do you think it's going to end?
11:18.
Okay, that one has not been chosen.
Yeah,
So.
locking it in. That's why you
Okay.
were going through numbers, and I was like, "What's one that hasn't been taken, but also falls in line with not the next volume, but the volume after the next
But
volume?"
soon.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we are.
I purposely picked one really far in the future so I don't win.
There you go.
But that sounds reasonable. What was there anything else with that question that we haven't answered, Ed?
No, just commending Sabo for escaping from the Five Elders at Marijoa. That was it.
For him.
A worthy commendation.
That's it for Piece to Tweet. Ed?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. Okay. Let's round off, and I have a really fun bit of trivia that I've been waiting like a month to do. So we'll do that.
Hey.
Fun.
One I personally am excited about. So take that as you will. We'll be right back. This has been episode 810 of the One Piece podcast for March 25th, 2024. Thank you all so much for coming on. As we mentioned, the manga is going to be off for 3 weeks. Did we mention that? So over the next 3 weeks, we have a lot of cool stuff coming up, though. Some surprises. And also our live show in New York City at the City Winery on Pier 57. It's at 3 p.m. Doors open at 2. Tickets are on sale now, so pick those up. And we're really excited to see you all in person. I haven't done an in-person event in a very long time, maybe 5 years. So excited to do that. And also, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. I almost forgot what I needed to plug there. We have Forced to Watch 4 Kids, the entire series that Alex and Steve did, which is phenomenal and will definitely stand the test of time forever. So I mean that. So please check that out. We also have alternate titles, alternate images. We put other fun stuff there. So subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, I think that's it on our end. Roger, where could people find you and your work?
Yeah, you can find me at RogersBase on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. Pretty much everywhere. I got that brand Unity for RogersBase. And during this month-long break, I'm not planning on doing tons of One Piece content, but I am actually doing something that is directly tied to the chapter we talked about today. And that is that when I went to Japan last year, I picked up a copy of One Piece Going Baseball for the Game Boy Advance. And I'm going to be doing a playthrough of One Piece Going Baseball on my YouTube channel, and that should be co-streamed to my Twitch as well. We're going to make like a whole big thing of it. We're going to do like a member-a-thon, pick your team kind of thing. It should be a lot of fun. So, yeah,
that's a
look
very
forward
good
to
idea.
the One Piece Going Baseball playthrough.
You will find, Roger, that it's the best One Piece
I'm
game.
excited. I can't wait. We were
Low
just
bar.
talking about the One Piece
I'm
games.
glad I own 2 copies of it.
I want a physical copy.
Pay
I
me.
played the crap out of it when it came out.
I bought like a physical copy, like I saw it in a store, and then like I went back to the same store like sometime later, and then they had it with the box and the manual, and I bought it again because I love the
You need every copy of Going Baseball in LA. Nobody else
Right,
can have
nobody
it.
else can have
No,
one.
just because I remember the artwork from that game way back.
No,
It's
fun,
really
yeah.
nice, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Sorry, Jill.
You can find me on Twitter at PyroTestUnluck. You can find me at the One Piece Symphony. I will be there at the LA showing this year. And you can find me on Final Fantasy XIV Ultra server as Pura Unluck, where I will be immediately after closing this video call.
Steven.
You can see what I'm up to on Blue Sky at stephenpaul.bsky.social, where I'm doing my read through of One Piece right in the middle of Skypiea now. In fact, today I read the chapter where Nami reveals the truth of what Skypiea actually is. Great chapter. Love me some Skypiea, so I'm very happy about this right now. And while One Piece is on break, of course, you will continue to get weekly chapters of Akane Banashi.
Yeah.
Chances are, more likely than not, it will have a color page in the chapter as well, because for whatever reason, it has like half, color pages like half the year. It's crazy. I don't know how they do it. But
I think it's splitting up the writer-artist thing must really be a helpful thing.
It works for them. So you can read that stuff on Shonen Jump or Manga Plus.
God, I'm not enjoying the week-to-week, though, with Akane Banashi. It's not fast. Like, I devoured the first 101 chapters, and now. I guess this is what a One Piece fan is also. Alex, where can people find you?
You can find me reading Steven's Blue Sky tweets because they're really funny. Really great One Piece commentary. But yeah, you can also find me on Blue Sky and Twitter at dude exclamation all one word. You can also on Twitter and Blue Sky find Weeb Simpsons, my shitpost account. You can also hear me as a guest on some podcasts. I have been a guest on the Select and Start podcast, talking about Super Mario RPG. Please check that out. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I had a blast talking about it. I was recently on an episode, as of this recording, not yet released, but I recorded an episode of Swim Fans with our very own Josh McKenzie, and we talk about, I'm not sure if I can say what we talked about, but it's relevant to the interests of this podcast. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I'm on an upcoming episode of the movie podcast Total Massacre. I will be talking about Shin Godzilla.
Nice.
So keep an ear out for that. And if you're in Maryland, PG County, specifically St. Mary's College, Super Art Fight's doing a show there on the 30th. I'll be there. Also, I'll be at the One Piece Symphony concert in DC in July.
And at our thing in New York.
And at our thing in New York, yes. But we covered that at the top of the podcast.
We did, and the bottom. Steve.
SteveYurko.com, socials at Steve Yurko. Check out my other podcast with Tara Sands, 4Kids Flashback. Check out our Let's Play channel with Sungwon. Not Tara and I, just me and Sungwon. That's ProZD Plays Games over at YouTube. And I will also be at the One Piece Orchestra concert in Los Angeles.
I never plug things, but I have something to plug. I will be on the podcast, the Baka Banter podcast, talking all about podcasting and One Piece. I think it comes out on April 3rd, so check that out. Ed, where could the good people find us?
Well, you are Zach at Zach.One Piece Podcast on Blue Sky. I'm Edward E. on Blue Sky. Podcast can be found at the new and improved OnePiecePodcast.com. OnePiecePodcast at gmail.com is our email address. YouTube.com, Twitter.com /OnePiecePodcast. You can please subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. Subscribe on SoundCloud, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, or call us on our phone number, Zach.
That phone number is 347-497-MAJI.
Maji.
That phone number again, 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
Anytime.
Or you could send us your macrofiche with your questions, comments, or theories. Time for trivia. This one I had the idea, I think a couple weeks or months ago. I will start by reading some of the Google translated episode titles that are related to this trivia. And I want to see if anyone could guess what the subject matter is going to be.
Okay.
This includes The Cabin is Burning, Tonight at the Opera, The Shameful Incident, Do You Like Virgins? No one? Okay, The Terrifying New York Parking Situation, Cashmere Sweater.
Are these like
Seinfeld?
Japanese translations of Seinfeld
happening
episodes?
Yes,
Oh,
they
wow.
are.
Okay, great.
Wow. Okay.
We got Pez Concerto, where there was some Babu
So to be clear,
again.
these are English translations of Japanese Seinfeld episode titles.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do today is I found some of the seiyuu who did Seinfeld, and I will say there were 2 seiyuu for each because they only ran some of the seasons and on 2 different networks. So the seasons 6 through 9, which I would say are like the best ones, never aired in Japan according to their Wikipedia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you more and more hints as to what role in One Piece these characters had. Okay. And you get
This
more
also
points.
requires a knowledge of Seinfeld.
This also does, well, not really.
I love
That's
that.
unfortunate. I've never watched a single episode.
Perfect.
Feels like an Arby's night.
Ed, I'll actually wait. So, Jill, I'm going to start with you then and give you Jerry Seinfeld. There are 2 different voice actors for Jerry Seinfeld, as I mentioned.
Is there like
not
a time
all of
skip
these.
where you had to change?
Yes. No. No. The first one is they play a very obscure character, but there is a major character post time skip that is voiced by the same role as Jerry Seinfeld to the point we have definitely discussed it on the podcast. Which character is it? And if you need a hint, let me know. I'll give you more.
I'd like a hint.
I'll give you less points for each hint.
Hint.
So I'll give you up to 5 hints. First hint.
If I know the answer, can I?
Can you just give me all 5 hints?
No, they are from Wano. No, it's the One Piece character. They're from Wano.
That doesn't help me.
Okay,
No,
they first show up.
characters are in
on-
You know that
Wano?
small little arc, Wano.
Okay, they're in all but one, not including Egghead. They're in all but one post time skip arc.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
So all but
Actually,
2, including
there's-
Egghead.
Oh. Okay.
No, there's actually they're not in 3 post time skip arcs.
What's the question?
Oh, you're
Okay.
right. You're right.
We're trying to figure out what
Jerry
character this
Seinfeld.
person voiced?
Which character in One Piece also does Jerry Seinfeld?
Oh.
Yeah, it has the same say.
Whose question is this, Jill?
Jill.
Yes. Give me another hint.
I bet I know who this is.
Yeah. He doesn't like dragons.
Was it Kinemon?
Yes. See,
Okay.
there you go.
Seinfeld, get him on.
Seinfeld
He
Kinemon.
wasn't in Whole Cake, Zach. Remember?
I know. I remembered after you said that's a 3, technically. There are 2 voices for George Costanza.
Who is
Let's
this for?
see. Steven, I'll give this one to you.
Costanza.
Okay.
You can name either if you want. Do you want any hints? Or do you know?
I have no idea.
Offhand. I didn't think so. So I'll give you. He voices the second one, who I think was superior. I did listen to the dub of Seinfeld. The second George Costanza is perfect because he's a nervous, annoying voice. Any guesses as to a possible annoying voice? There's 4 characters you could guess here.
What? 4 characters I could guess.
Do you want?
The actor plays 4 characters.
The actor George Costanza. Yeah, you could say any of the 4
in One Piece. Okay.
Yeah, 2 of them
All right, so
are
that's
notably annoying characters.
Oh, I know who this is.
Nervous character.
Probably not, because I haven't said enough hints probably for you to
Yeah,
know.
I was like, wait, aren't you going to tell me like
Characters
an
that
arc
Zach
that he's
hates.
in or something? But
Okay,
Yeah.
so annoying
Zach-
characters, including
Zach
one
hates 2 of them.
annoying characters, not to me, but annoying in personality. George Costanza-esque, perhaps. Not really. But one in Thriller Bark and one in Wano are extremely prominent. Let's say neurotic. There's the one in Wano is certainly a neurotic character.
Neurotic character.
wow.
I got this.
Oh man. For the Thriller Bark character, is it Dr. Hogback?
Correct.
Yes.
Whoa.
I'll do a jump ball for anyone who wants the second.
Orochi.
Correct. There you go, Jill.
Wow.
He's
Is that
played
the-
2
is the
other
same voice
characters
actor?
in One Piece.
Hogback and Orochi are apparently the same
Who are
one
the other
according
two?
to
I knew
Wikipedia.
that, but
Wow.
he's 2 other characters as well.
Yes. If you
Ew.
want to guess, you can. I don't know who the hell this second one is. Kumasi? And Caroline? Who the hell is that?
Oh, isn't that
Oh,
one of
from
the?
Cowboy
The filler
Kingdom.
Kamabaka character
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
who gives Sanji a dress. Yeah.
Let's see. Roger.
Yes.
The second character, George Costanza voice actor, I don't
Okay.
think is quite as, doesn't quite have the same George Costanza-esque qualities to him. You know what? First of all, do you know who it is?
I
ask
don't,
first.
but I know Seinfeld and I know One Piece, so I feel like I should be okay.
Okay.
If you name-
Okay.
Zach, you should
This
just
is a
assume
Costanza-
nobody knows.
Yeah, I
and
was
just go
like-
right
Okay,
to the-
okay.
I'm like, I don't think
First
any
hint.
of us are going to know the Seinfeld voice actors in
First hint.
Japanese. Yeah. This is for Costanza.
He is a villain. This is second Costanza. Remember, there were 2 for each.
So the
this
first
is
one
They,
was
they were
Orochi.
both on One Piece.
First one was Orochi
Okay.
and Hogback and Caroline and Kumasi. This one is only one character and a villain.
Okay. How many questions can I ask?
You could ask up to 5.
Up to
So
5.
if you
All
want,
right. All right.
or
What,
hints, yeah.
what arc are they predominantly in?
Wano.
Okay.
boy.
Jesus. This
One
is,
of
yeah, one of all
700
these other characters. You said they're a villain already, you said. Mm-hmm. They're a villain in
I could also
Wano.
just give you a hint if you don't have a specific question.
Are they a member of the Toby Roppo?
No.
No. Okay.
Character we're at.
Does the character wear a hat? Does it? You said this voice doesn't. You said this voice doesn't fit.
I don't think they fit at all.
Okay.
I mean, certainly the character is the least George Costanza you could get. That's a
Kaido?
big hint. Yes.
Really?
Really? Banjo Ginga did.
What?
Yep.
Kaido voices
This
George
is why I'm
Costanza.
very
That's immediately
excited
who
for
came to
this.
my mind too. As soon as you said not very Costanza-esque, I was like,
Yeah, as soon as you were like the opposite of Costanza and a Wano villain, and I'm like, if it's not a Toby Roppo thing, then it's probably just Kaido. What
He was
the
king.
heck?
You know-
Pretty funny.
Oh, do you know who else Banjo Ginga plays in One Piece?
No.
I
He
do.
played, Scarlet.
Oh,
Ed.
Oh.
Ed, I'm gonna.
Scarlet, well, Scarlet the Ape from Strong
What
World.
the heck?
Oh,
But
see,
he's
I thought you
also
meant
Bear
Scarlet
King, right?
Dressrosa.
I think he is also Bear King. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to the early movies, it's weird how they just like they reuse a lot of people who play like
Who,
prominent
Oh,
do you
I
know?
hate
Do you know who
characters.
voiced
I
Honey
know.
Queen by chance? I loved Honey Queen.
Not off the top of my head.
God, I thought for a second it was the same voice actress who did Faye Valentine and Musashi from Pokemon. What's her face?
Ed,
Megami
Yes.
something or other.
Elaine. I assume you don't know, but if you do,
No,
please
I
tell
don't.
me. Okay,
I
good.
don't.
Also a villain.
Okay.
Elaine. Do you need more hints?
Yes, I need one hint. Yes.
A villain in Whole Cake Island.
Cake Island. Big Mom.
Correct. Good job.
Oh
Ed.
wow!
Yeah,
What a
isn't
range.
that crazy?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
She's also
Yeah.
Arale-chan and Eva Heinemann from Monster.
Also, I have to
By
say,
the way-
Alex, you are amazing. The fact that you said that about Honey Queen, out of nowhere, I'm like, who does the voice of Honey Queen? And you're like, yeah, I think she does
And I
Faye
knew it.
Valentine
That's
and
Alex.
Jessie and Pokemon. And I looked it up immediately,
Yeah.
the first thing that comes up. I'm like,
Megumi Hayashibara.
what
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
Well,
I'm-
she might be the most famous
she
voice
is,
actress
yeah.
of all time. But
She is very famous.
yeah, she's in everything. But yeah,
That's
it's
amazing,
kind of
though.
funny that she does both of those iconic roles.
Steve, do you want? I'm going to give you a choice here: Kramer or Newman.
I'll take Kramer. I'll just go
Okay.
in chronological order.
That's chronological order. Seinfeld canon. We're staying in the Seinfeld canon. Okay, so there were two voices of Kramer. One voiced a major movie character. The other one voiced an extremely obscure character in the series. You could ask questions about either. I assume you want the movie character. Right, Steve?
The fun one would be picking this very extreme, obscure.
Would you
character.
prefer that? You could do it.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
Let's make it challenging. Okay.
Okay, now I have to find any information about this character. This, I assume you want hints about this extremely obscure character because you don't know who Kramer voiced.
Are they in the manga?
They are in the manga. You could ask questions. It's more fun that way. Doesn't have to be yes or no.
Hero, like, are they good or are they bad?
They're mostly sucky.
Mostly.
I think they end up being bad, but not like. Do they end up being bad?
What?
It's
do you not know this?
it's One Piece. You know, like extremely obscure characters will go from being bad to good or good to bad.
Are they in the Navy?
No.
Are they a pirate?
Yes. Well, no, actually. Sorry. It's extremely obscure.
Is it?
Were they
Is
in
it
the
Zach?
were they
Is
in
it
the
obscure 'cause-
Dressrosa Coliseum?
Yes.
Okay, now we're cooking.
Hey.
You have one more question left.
who's the most
That
Kramer
was
like
four, right?
of the Coliseum?
You should ask, Steve. You should ask. Does this character do the King Punch?
No, it's you picked the hard one. This is legit
Which
difficult.
block did they fight in?
Ooh, okay, give me 1 second. I don't know that offhand. By the way, his gladiator
played-
number was 0122. I'm gonna give that one to you for free because I'm sure that really helped. Block. Block B,
All right, and I think I'm
which
allowed
I
to
believe
look
is
up
the
roster.
Bartolomeo. Yeah, you can look up the
That's it.
roster. Yeah, I'll let you look up the
Okay,
roster.
They're in B block.
Who was in B block? I don't even know.
Block
Okay, B block.
the batteries.
Cowboy
I just looked up 0122 and I'm like, what the
I
hell?
almost don't know.
How are you gonna get this?
I'm gonna get this.
This is amazing.
Picked an
Who turned out to
impossible.
suck? Well, some of the people in B block turned out to be allies, but
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if
take
he's
a
an ally or enemy. That's why I was. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here. Is it Dogma?
Yes.
Oh.
You'd think that would be Newman.
Wow.
Incredible.
You would think that would be Newman. You were
Yeah.
right.
Oh shit!
Is it?
for
it,
the-
is
Oh my
it
God.
turn?
Yeah, but for the steal, also for the second one, since he chose that one, major movie character in a movie that's that happened within the last
think
10 years.
I think I know. that.
Alex, you want to guess?
Just because of the actor being a batshit crazy dude, is it Naoto Takanaka?
I don't know the name of the. Let me
That
check.
would be Shiki.
Cheeky.
That's
No,
Shiki.
no. It's
Oh.
very much not fitting. Very much like George Costanza level of not fitting.
Oh, I
it
see.
Zed?
I see. It's
No.
probably Zed, right?
Il
No.
Tesoro?
No,
Was it the old guy in Film Gold?
no, I wish.
Yeah.
Raise
Oh,
Max.
Raise Max.
Max.
No.
Wait, is it Douglas Bullet?
It is! Cosmo Kramer is Douglas Bullet.
Wow.
Wow, they both have weird hair.
Yeah. Last one, Alex. You get Newman.
Yeah.
which by the way I thought was the best, the best of the voices in the Japanese dub. So if you listen to Find a Newman episode, this one's perfect. All three of these, I think, totally embody Newman. Three different characters. I assume you don't know any of them offhand.
No.
So I'll give you a choice. Do you want to choose the villain, or the side character, or the what the hell do I even? The side character or the East Blue character?
Wow, East Blue character kind of narrows it down a bit. I'm gonna do that one.
Okay, yes, that's choosing the easy one, the smart way to do this. Although he got Dagama, so I can't really speak.
I don't know. Maybe I'll try all three. Let's see what happens.
Okay, ask me some questions then about the East Blue.
All right.
Character. This is probably the least similar to Newman of the three, and I'll say definitely the least similar. Yeah.
Okay. Is this character a villain?
No.
Okay. Is this character like an ally character that's not like a hero, but like an ally?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Is this a mentor figure?
Yes. Yes.
I
don't know what you're mouthing there, Steve.
Let's see.
I have this sneaking suspicion that I might know who it is.
This one is not Newman-esque, so don't.
Is this a character in the Arlong arc?
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Does this character wear a?
Go ahead.
Okay. Does this character wear a hat?
Yes. That's your last question. Yes, it is Genzo.
It's Genzo, yeah.
Yeah.
Who did you think it was, Steve?
I was gonna say Genzo because I'm like, does this voice actor play a character in Dragon Ball Z, which is Majin Buu? So
now these will be toss-ups, the last two, because I think these two are much more fitting.
All right.
So I'll give hints, and if you know it, please tell me.
Sure. What's the villain?
This one is the villain.
Yeah.
They all were one of the 7 warlords of the sea.
Okay. Is it Akio Itsuka?
No, that would be funny.
No,
that'd be crazy. Okay, let's.
Anyone could do it. No, it's the same guy.
I know who the character
Newman
is.
Yeah, who's the character?
It's Weevil.
Correct.
Oh,
I
right,
forget
because
that
it is
guy
Majin
exists.
Buu's voice actor.
Yeah.
It
So
is the
you
same
obviously
voice.
know the other character he plays, right, Alex?
I'll give it up. I'll throw this.
This is a side character.
Side character.
Yes.
Fuck. I definitely knew at one point.
I think Steve knows.
Yeah, Steve. You.
Steve's
obviously
hand
know.
is having some conniption fit over there.
Papag or
Yep.
Papagoo?
Yeah, correct. All right.
I know at one point. Yeah.
The end result there is a tie for everyone except Roger
I-
and Alex. So congratulations.
See, I think it's kind of bullshit though because Zach, you led me to believe that this was 3 separate voice actors.
No, I said there was just one that. Okay.
Well,
sorry,
then
I
I'm a
didn't mean to
bad
do that.
listener, and
Hooray,
I'm
everyone's
trying to-
I also feel like I don't technically feel good winning when my answer was Kaido and Steve's was Dogma. I feel like that feels wrong.
He chose that though.
I guess that's true.
He went down that route. He could have picked
Yeah, I should've
Douglas
got bonus
Bullet,
points.
That's right.
but he
I mean,
chose
I guess. Okay.
Dogma.
Guys,
could have also
guys,
Googled the Gladiator number.
I think we should call it Maxell D. Luffy.
And
You
scene.
mean like
There
Ray's
we go.
Max? You mean like Ray's Max?
Beautiful.
Okay, that'll do it for the One Piece podcast. Thank you, Steve, for getting that title in at the last minute there. We'll see you next week, everyone. My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
My name is Steve.
And my name is Alex Aspirated.
We'll see you
Anytime.
next week. everyone.
Aspirated is what I'm saying.
Bye. Do you guys want to hear more Seinfeld titles? We got Pasta Primavera. We got Alleged Gay. We've got...